well to right field. It is
Adios,
high,
amigo.
It is far, and it is gone.
Holy cow.
Zane Harris crushed that one.
A long drive towards right center field, and it's gone in the trees.
Hit from Braithwaite. Swung on and missed, and the ball game is over. The Harbor Hawks have defeated the Katuitt Kettleers.
That one is a good long drive towards left field, and gone! It is a beautiful Wednesday night.
That ball well to right field. It is
Wareham Gateman for the second time in as many days. A little rematch from our game last night against Wareham. Lincoln Revill alongside Austin DeCouta here with you tonight. And Austin, after a game last night where we got plenty of hits, we had 7 hits in last night's game against the Gatemen, but we just couldn't bring runs across. So we're hoping that we can bounce back tonight and get some runs across tonight.
Yeah, unfortunately for Hyannis, their 2-game win streak was snapped last night. As you mentioned, too many runners left in scoring position. We got the base runners. We didn't strike out a ton last night. Under 10 strikeouts is always a good sight to see. But unfortunately, they just weren't able to drive enough runs home. But even if you do, Lincoln, it's hard to win ball games allowing 12 runs. So it's just limiting the free passes tonight and capitalizing on runners in scoring position. Should help turn this one around for Hyannis.
Yeah, lots of hits, lots of free bases given in last night's game to the Gatemen. We're hoping for a strong game tonight from the Harbor Hawks as Hunter Furtado sets to go on the mound. But first, the starting lineup for the Wareham Gatemen. Austin, what does that lineup look like tonight for the visiting team?
Well, it's going to have Tres Gonzalez in the leadoff spot for back-to-back nights. He's playing center field tonight. Sean McLean, the DH, batting second. Owen Diodotti, the left fielder, batting third. Tommy Troy, the second baseman, batting fourth. Batting fifth is Jimmy Crooks, the catcher. Batting sixth is Yohandy Morales, the first baseman. Batting seventh is Cameron James, the third baseman. Batting eighth, Cade Kern, the right fielder. And batting ninth, Jimmy Jarvis, the shortstop.
Hunter Furtado from Alabama comes set, brings his first pitch home to Tres Gonzalez. That finds the zone. 4-strike-1, and we are underway here. Once again, Furtado on the mound. Caleb Pendleton behind the dish. The battery for the Harbor Hawks tonight. We'll go around the horn here after this 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball, just misses up high, bring the count even at 1. Luke Mann over at third base. That's Kyle Ball over at short. Ryan Romano at second, and Zane Harris over at first. Actually, no, that is Nick Romano over at first. Nick was originally in the DH spot, but a little last-second change there. And now over in left field, Mitch Hardigan, Clark Elliott out in center, and Dom Johnson will be out in right field tonight. Count now at 2-1. Pitch from Furtado comes in. A little check swing, but he went around. 2 balls and 2 strikes, now the count.
Furtado's at his best when he can throw his fastball for strikes on the outside part of the plate. It's a fastball at 93 with good velocity on it. Has a little bit of late life as well. But when he can locate it away from hitters, he's at his best.
2-2, just misses on the zone.
Tried to go back to that fastball on the outside part of the plate, but too far outside. He ramped it up to 94 there.
Furtado would have had a ball of a night whenever we had Sparky Burns behind the plate a couple days ago. Mr. Burns loved that outside corner. The payoff is ripped down the third base line, and that drops just foul as the count stays at full. 3-2 here. Once again, the Harbor Hawks coming off of a 12-1 loss. The last 2 times we played the Gatemen, both of those games have been 12-1 losses. Harbor Hawks looking for their first win against the Gatemen this season.
And the Gatemen only scored in 3 of the innings last time. Just shows you how rough those 3 innings were, but the other 6 were great for Hyannis.
Ball chopped over to second. That's almost over the head of Ryan Romano. He throws it over to his twin brother, Nick, and that is out number 1. Good first out for the Harbor Hawks and a great first out for Hunter Furtado.
Yeah, a good adjustment there by Ryan Romano at second base. That's a tough hop, but luckily for him, it stays within reach. He's able to adjust and make the grab and a strong throw to get the Speedy Gonzalez.
I like that little play on words there, the Speedy Gonzalez. You know the old cartoon character?
No, I actually don't.
What? Oh no! Oh no! He's
just fast, Gonzalez.
He's a Looney Tunes character, Speedy Gonzalez.
No, I can't say I remember him.
Oh no!
I was just I mean, Tres Gonzalez has 7 stolen bases and runs good out of the box. That was my.
He is.
That's why I was calling him Speedy. I didn't know there was a.
Yeah, no. There's a little character like Bugs Bunny and all that, and all of them. Yeah, Speedy Gonzalez. He's a little mouse.
I must have forgot about him.
Oh, How can you forget about Speedy Gonzalez?
Oh, sorry.
The 1-1 misses down low. Bring the count out to 2-1. Yeah, you just probably missed him. He whizzed by. You just
Must
missed
have been
him.
it right off the screen, huh?
Probably. 2-1. Pitch from Furtado is fouled off, even in the count at 2. The sun poking out at times here from Judy Walden Scarafile Field. A few clouds. Nothing dangerous looking as of yet. It's an overcast day, but it's very thin clouds. So.
There was a 100% chance of rain around this morning here in Hyannis, but fortunately for the game, that has, I guess, subsided.
Yeah, it's
unfortunately for the meteorologists. Fortunately for us, but it's always interesting in New England how they can be so sure it's going to rain, and then 2 hours later, never mind, no rain here.
Yeah,
I guess just always pack a jacket.
Pack a jacket.
Even
Bring an umbrella everywhere
sun.
you go. Yeah.
Especially these Cape games, it gets cold at night.
Lots of chilly nights here. It's been pretty humid and warm the past few nights. As the payoff comes in, fouled off. Back-to-back at-bats where it's gone to full. This one to Sean McLean, the DH.
It's a good pitch there with the count full. Furtado locating the fastball and McLean just getting a hold of it to fight it off. We'll see where he goes here.
McLean finds a walk. He's the first runner on base for the Gateman here tonight. Ended up reaching free once after being hit by a pitch in the second inning last night. His only time on base was that free ride. As now with the runner on first and one away. That brings Owen Diodotti, who has had quite an offensive few games against the Harbor Hawks this season.
He's got a lot of power. 7 home runs on the year.
I think you mentioned last night that's a Cape that he leads the Cape in home runs with 7.
He does.
Is that correct?
He's the leader with 7 homers and also the RBI leader with 21. Of those on active rosters, it looks like. But
chopped over to second. Ryan Romano ends up tossing it over to first for the sure out. So with 2 away now, that's Sean McLean advancing over to second on the 4-3 put out.
Well, if you're Owen Diodotti, you at least move a runner into scoring position. So not a complete empty out, I guess you could say. It did have some production as you get a runner 90 feet closer to home, which is always good.
Yeah, I think that's really what his job was for that. If you can't get on base, at least move the runner over. He kept it far enough from Ryan Romano to where he couldn't get the double play. So I think he did his job there. Runner goes from second. The throw over from Pendleton to third is just not in time as Mann puts the tag on McLean, but McLean finds the base first. So he's now 90 feet away from scoring the opening run for the Gateman here in the first.
He was already running just before Furtado brought his leg up. So for Pendleton to even get that throw there and make the play that close is impressive.
1-0 finds the zone for 1-1. We've seen a couple of strong throws from Pendleton over the past couple of games. You mentioned a couple of outings ago for him. He caught 3 runners stealing. Also had 1 on a back pick, as that's a high chopper to second. Ryan Romano over by the bag, makes the grab over to first, is not in time, says first base umpire Joe Peters, and that gives the Gateman a 1-0 lead.
Tough play to make there for Romano because Troy runs so well out of the right-handed batter's box, and unfortunately just the high chopper, nothing you can do. He tried to get it out quick, but not quick enough.
Romano almost responsible for all 3 outs in this inning, but instead he hit that throw missing, becoming just I'd say less than half a step late as the first pitch. This one to Jimmy Crooks hit up the middle, and Romano responsible for all 3 outs still as he steps on second for the 3rd out. And we head to the bottom of the first. The Gatemen start things off with a run. We'll be back on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network. Back here for the bottom half of the first inning from McKeon Park on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network. Lincoln Revill alongside my partner Austin DeCouta as the Harbor Hawks get ready to take their first set of at-bats here tonight. Clark Elliott is starting us off, followed by Kyle Ball at shortstop. Luke Mann, the third baseman, in the 3-hole, followed by Nick Romano, the DH. He's had a quite eventful first couple of games at the plate. Zane Harris in the 5-hole, and he'll be playing at, Zane Harris now the DH, as Romano now at first, as Dom Johnson will be batting behind Harris in right field. Mitch Hardigan in left, followed by Caleb Pendleton in the 8-hole at catcher, and Ryan Romano will be bringing up the rear in the 9-hole as Clark Elliott is set to face Adam Meyers to start us off here in the bottom of the first.
It would be important for Hyannis to try to respond down 1-0 early. It would be great for them to try to get a run of their own here.
Meyers, the senior at Virginia Tech, brings the first pitch home as that misses up high to Elliott. Count at 1-0. Elliott reached base once in his game last night, ended 1 for 5 with a single, 3 strikeouts, and a flyout. 1-0 finds the inside of the zone, 1-1 the count. Elliott batting .326 on the season. He has a home run and a pair of RBI.
He's been one of the best hitters in the Cape the last couple of weeks since he joined the roster. An all-star and somebody who has been a very helpful injection into this lineup.
Elliott, the only position player listed as an all-star for the Harbor Hawks, along with, and this one's launched out towards center field. That's going to be Gonzalez coming underneath it for out number 1 on the 1-2 count. And as I was mentioning, Elliott mentioned as an all-star along with Adrian Saravo and Jonas Scalaro.
3 very deserving all-stars and 3 of the best in this league.
And now with 1 away, Kyle Ball is going to step up to the plate. Ball in the 2-hole, a very deserving person to be in the number 2 spot. He's been able to find ways to reach base in most of the games that he's played.
And Lincoln, this is not the first time that we've seen Meyers on the mound. We saw him back on the 11th with 5 shutout innings pitched against Hyannis. On the season, he's pitched 13 2/3 innings with just 1 walk. That's the most impressive number you're going to look at. Yes, he has 18 strikeouts, and his ERA is eye-popping as well. He's only allowed 1 run, but to only allow 1 batter on a free base there is incredible.
On the season, Meyers listing what I would say is an incredible ERA at just .66. 0.66 ERA. 18 strikeouts in those 13 2/3 innings, as you mentioned.
The walk is just incredible. Only 1 free base. That makes you amongst the best.
Called strike 3 on the 2-2. A beautiful breaking ball from Meyers as Kyle Ball goes down looking. And with 2 away, Luke Mann is going to step up to the plate. Now, as we know, in yesterday, I believe it was, the Cape announced the Cape League Player of the Week. Well, Luke Mann, we both thought was a front runner for that award.
Definitely should have been in the mix. If he wasn't, that's a crime. But I think he was in the mix. Unfortunately, did not get the award. But he had a couple of home runs in that week. I think about 10 RBI, and he pitched. So Luke Mann, one of the most complete players you'll see down here.
The 1-0 pitch from Meyers, lofted. That's almost straight up into center field. That's going to be Tres Gonzalez moving a little bit over to his left, making the grab for out number 3. And the Harbor Hawks go down in order as we head to the second. Hawks trailing 1-0 on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network. And we are back for the top of the second inning. The Wareham Gateman are taking on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks here from Judy Walden Scarafile Field. Lincoln Revill alongside Austin DeCouta here as Hunter Furtado steps back up for his second inning of work. He fires his first pitch home to Yohandy Morales for ball one.
Morales, one of the many players in this league with MLB experience in their family. His father, Andy, was a member of the Cuban national team and played in the Yankees and Red Sox organizations. It always helps when you have somebody with pro baseball experience to kind of teach you.
Yeah, definitely. Morales played in last night's game. He reached base 3 times, reached home twice, as he ended his night 1 for 3 with a double, a strikeout, a ground out, and he also reached on 2 walks. 3-0 now the count. Furtado looking to bounce back here as the 3-0 misses low. A 4-pitch walk to Yohandy Morales to start us off here in the bottom of the second, or top of the second, that is.
Not the ideal start as you allow the leadoff man on board, but going from here you can try to get a double play and get yourself on your way out of the inning.
And the runner on first, Furtado fires his first pitch home now for a ball that is up and away to Cameron James. James did not play in last night's game against the Harbor Hawks. Quick little chat between Pendleton and Furtado before we get started here.
See if Furtado continues to try to throw his fastball early in the counts. He can locate that curveball for a strike. That's when he's at his best, but he's having a little bit of trouble getting that fastball in the zone.
The 1-0 finds the zone for strike one, 1-1 the count. Now, of course, Morales reached the first walk, or second walk of the game for the Harbor Hawks. In last night's game, ended up posting 10 free bases throughout that game. A big chunk of Gateman runs came from those free bases, something that you definitely want to try to limit for tonight's game. Another throw over to first. Not in time. Not trying to get Morales out over at first, more to just keep him at bay. Of course, if he does decide to go to second, I have confidence that Pendleton can get him out, or at least make it incredibly close. The 1-1 fouled off, bringing the count now to 1-2.
92 on that fastball. We've seen Furtado between 92 to 94 tonight. Good velocity out of the gate. Now we'll see if he goes back to the curveball on 1-2. Would not be surprised. He throws it really well.
Furtado, a full stretch pitcher. Goes from the stretch whether there are runners on or not. As he steps off, needs an extra second to make sure he has the right sign from Pendleton.
He's now heading to Alabama to be teammates with Caden Rose of the Harbor Hawks after he signed with them just probably a week or so ago now.
Mm-hmm.
He flew down to Alabama for the day, if I'm not mistaken.
He did. He left one day and then basically came back the next. Just went down to Tuscaloosa to make it officially a Crimson Tide baseball player, originally from Wake Forest before transferring. As the 2-2 is swung on and missed. First base is occupied, and that is strikeout number 1 for Hunter Furtado, and there's one away.
Great pitch in the dirt there, got him chasing. You don't always have to throw that pitch for a strike. If you can get it below the zone, have it look enticing to the hitter, and you saw James chase there and a big out number 1.
Beautiful pitch from Furtado and a beautiful first strikeout. As with one away, Cade Kern steps to the plate. The double play at first would be very helpful to the Harbor Hawks now. As that pitch misses up high for ball 1.
Lincoln taking a quick look at the attendance on the season. The Harbor Hawks still in second in average attendance and in total attendance throughout the year with 25,464 fans through 13 home games. Tonight's not included yet. They're only behind the Chatham Anglers. So another good crowd here at McKeon Park tonight. We'll see what the total is later in the ballgame.
That's impressive. 25,000 fans through 13.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know we've had a couple of games where we've had 2,000. We've had one with 3 thousand fans. Harborhawks with scheduled 20 home games. We've had one get canceled, the game against Brewster early on in the season.
I wonder if they count the attendance for that or not.
I don't think so. I wouldn't say so. The 1-1 runner goes, chunked down to second from Pendleton, is off the glove of Romano. Morales reaches second.
Good jump by Morales. And a good effort from Pendleton, but again, he has to throw it from his knees. That's the only shot he had, but just unfortunately wasn't going to be in time.
The Orthodox double play now not going to help the Harborhawks here, as Morales now in scoring position.
Good decision to step off there. Morales was getting a comfortable lead.
We've already seen one Gateman player steal third. We'll see if he can make it 2 here. 2-1. That's up and away, ball 3. Now Furtado, we've seen him quite a few times. This is his second start from the mound. Usually seen him in relief up until recent weeks. After the draft, we've seen quite a few relievers turned starters. And one of those, if I'm not mistaken, was Jonah Scolaro. It started out as a reliever, and then he's been very impressive in his starts this season.
He's made 2 in a row where he's gone a combined 11 innings and just 1 run across, and that's actually propelled him to being first in the West Division in ERA this season with a 1.00.
Wow.
According to Point Streak, where we have all our stats. So if you're interested in any Cape League stats, Point Streak has a lot of good info on there.
Point Streak also the place you can keep up with the game in real time. Of course, you won't be able to hear anything. It's just a little bit of a game tracker. So if you're unable to listen to our broadcast, you can check up on Point Streak, check the situation and the score. Runners on first and second now after Cade Kern reaches on a walk. Infield fly rule goes into effect along with the Orthodox double play. All bags are hot. As Furtado comes home with the 1-0 to Jim Jarvis. That misses outside for ball 2.
Having a little bit of trouble of finding the zone here for Furtado. But he's been a great pitcher early in the season for the Harborhawks. There's a reason he's now going to Alabama. But there's a little bit of trouble early on in this ballgame.
That's going to prompt a mound visit from pitching coach Ray Korn. And we've seen quite a bit in recent games where Coach Korn will make his way out to the mound, have a little chat with the pitcher just to make sure everything's okay, check everything is mechanically sound. And then our pitchers, for the most part, have seemed to improve after he comes out and speaks to him, at least for a little bit further.
Yeah, I don't know what we could call it, but every time Calhoun goes out there, like you said, and then the next batter, seemingly the pitcher's getting out every time. The Calhoun effect, or not the Calhoun, the Korn effect, rather.
Yeah, Korn effect.
Right, Korn.
We could call it that. I think
he
that
comes
sounds
out,
nice.
and it's just been consistent every time he does a mound visit. Pitching coach Korn, something straightens out with the pitchers, and they usually end up firing strikes. We'll see if that's the case with Furtado. A lot of the guys, too, have attributed their success this season to Coach Korn and his knowledge.
Mm-hmm. I've talked to him a little bit, and in the little bit that I've spoken to him, he's very knowledgeable about the game. He can see those little tweaks that his pitchers need to make from the dugout and can go out and really, really change the outing from his pitchers. That one chopped over to second. Romano going to pick that one up. He's going to chunk it over to first for the 1 out.
Well, there you go. Immediately following the mound visit, Furtado throws a strike, then gets an out. Now there's 2 away, and you're 1 out away from getting out of this inning.
2 runners advance. That's Morales on third, but Kern over at second. But like you said, Austin, they don't need the double play to reach this inning now. The defense can take a little breath because all they have to do is get that 1 out.
The Osprey are circling right now.
They are.
Right above the field.
They're a lot bigger than I thought they were. We've seen them a little bit, but seeing them up close, there's one perched on a pole just ahead of the press box here, and they're a lot bigger than I thought they'd be. beautiful birds. They really are.
That's where the name the Harbor Hawks come from.
The 1-2 called strike. Another good breaking ball there from Furtado. Brings it up to 0-2. And I will say they do look a lot like hawks. Is an osprey a type of hawk? I wonder,
so.
or is it just another name for it?
Could be a nickname. I'm not too sure.
Back in Texas, we have quite a few hawks, and there's not. They look a lot like. They look a lot alike from the naked eye. As the 0-2, it sounded like it was a foul ball, but Pendleton thinks it was a caught strike 3. Calhoun's going to come out and argue a bit. It sounded like it came off the bat.
I couldn't tell from here.
A couple of the Harbor Hawks defense was already heading back to the dugout, including Clark Elliott out in center field, who had to retreat a few yards to get back to his spot. But the count goes back to 0-2. So 2 away. Count remains at 0-2. Our scoreboard here at McKeon Park back up to date. Furtado comes home with the 0-2. Breaking ball, called strike 3. A beautiful pitch to end the top half of the second. No runs come across, no hits, no errors, and 2 left stranded. We head to the bottom half of the second. Harbor Hawks trailing 1 on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network. Back here now for the bottom half of the second inning. Nick Harris starting us off, followed by Nick Romano, Zane Harris, and Dom Johnson. My apologies there as Romano steps in. Just his 3rd game for the Harbor Hawks, but he's had quite a hot bat in those first 2 starts that he's had. First pitch from Meyers comes in. That misses for a ball.
He's 3 for his first 7 with an RBI and a walk. So he's been effective in that cleanup spot. We saw him activated and put right into the cleanup spot, kind of throwing him right into the fire. And interestingly enough, the Gatemen already have a shift figured out for Romano, who's really just in the beginning stages of his Cape career.
Lofts that one straight up in the air into shallow left field. That's going to be picked up by Jarvis. He calls everybody off and makes the grab just past second base for out number 1. A very interesting shift as Tommy Troy over at second was right above second base. Jarvis was in between second and third, and then that was James over at third. That was pretty close to the line there. Both 1 away. That brings Zane Harris to the plate.
Now they'll shift Harris a bit as you see the second baseman. Troy in shallow right field. Jarvis, the shortstop, way to the right of the second base bag.
Now the shift, an unusual sight for us at least, as Wareham, the only team really that shifts in the Cape. Of course, we haven't seen Bourne and we haven't seen. No, we've seen YD, but we haven't seen not Bourne. It's Orleans. Wait, yes we have. Okay, I'm thinking we haven't been to Orleans. We haven't been to YD. My mind is all over the place right now. I apologize. But Zane Harris reaches base.
I know what you meant.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
We
I don't
haven't
know
seen
what I'm
their
happening.
fields. We've
Yeah.
seen their teams.
Yeah. Oh, man. I slowly realized what I was saying, and I was like, wait a minute. That's not right. Anyway, after you all get a little look at what's inside my brain, Dom Johnson steps up to the plate with a runner on first and one away. First pitch he sees is a called strike on the inside for strike one. 0-1 now the count. Now, I guess you could kind of call this a shift for him. I'm not sure really, but Troy, it seems like he could just be in double play depth. I don't think this really counts as a shift per se.
A little bit of a shift because Jarvis is not as close to second base I think he normally would be if you're in double play depth. Over at short, he's a little bit to the left of that bag, but there's still a big hole between first and second base if Johnson can go the other way with it. And he loves to do that in batting practice. That's all he does is go the other way.
Count now quickly at 0-2. Meyers takes a quick look over at first before coming home. He chops that one foul. Almost barehanded by a couple of Harbor Hawks players in the dugout, but instead it rolls astray, and the count remains at 0-2. Looking at games around the league, the Falmouth Commodores and the Bourne Braves are battling, along with, of course, the Wareham Gateman and the Hyannis Harbor Hawks at 6 o'clock. The Brewster Whitecaps are taking on the Orleans Firebirds at 7, and the Cotuit Kettleers are battling the Chatham Anglers at 7 as well. That one's lofted towards center field. Gonzalez is going to come up underneath it and make the grab. Harris is going to retreat back to first base, and they're 2 away.
Breaking ball hung just a bit there from Meyers, but Johnson was just too far out in front on his front foot there. He timed it okay, just a little bit off balance, and unfortunately it's just a fly out.
So now 2 away. Once again, the Gateman leading 1-0 against the Harbor Hawks. Both teams with 1 hit apiece so far. First pitch to Hardigan is fouled off. 0-1 the count. Mitch Hardigan in last night's game ended his night 0 for 4. 3 flyouts to his name along with a ground out in the second inning of play. The 0-1. Check swing. Yes, he did go, says the home plate umpire. Moving the count to 0-2. Now, Hardigan, the other night, had a pretty eventful night at the plate, reaching base 4 times. He had 3 singles on his night. That was back on Monday. The 0-2. Just misses on the outside. Crooks behind the plate thought that was strike 3. Instead, it's going to bring the count now to 1 ball and 2 strikes.
We haven't really seen that pitch called tonight. The outside corner, a little bit tougher to grab here. The inside corner has been called.
And that pitch looked really, really nice. It was just a couple of inches outside. As the 1-2 comes in, he grounds down over to second. That's going to be picked up by Troy, who will toss it over to second, where Jarvis was waiting for it for out number 3. We'll be back. The 3rd inning coming up on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network. Third inning of play coming up as Hunter Furtado is back on the mound. He'll face Sean McLean, Owen Diodotti, and Tommy Troy, the 2, 3, and 4 hole hitters for the Gatemen, who lead 1-0 here after 2 innings of play as the first pitch comes in for strike 1.
As we mentioned last night, McLean, who's at the plate, his brother, Matt McLean, was drafted this year in the first round of the 2021 MLB draft by the Cincinnati Reds at 17th overall. His brother was a former Wareham Gateman as well, an all-star. See if Sean can follow in his footsteps.
Lofts that one foul. Brings the count now to 1-2. Sean McLean doing well on the season, batting .278. 5 for 18 on the season, including a home run, 4 RBI. He's been walked twice, and he's been fanned 4 times. On-base percentage at a .409. So he lofts that one shallow into the middle of the infield. Ryan Romano is going to come underneath that. He's had quite an eventful night.
Every ball has hit to Ryan Romano tonight. He's got 3 4-3s, 3 of those, and he's had 1 for an assisted, or he stepped on second. He caught that pop up. He had a single hit to him. That is like almost every play.
Yeah.
Every ball's going to second base tonight, so there's no sleeping at second.
No, definitely not. And Romano, a player you want to have at second base, he's been very solid at second base along with the hot corner at third. We've seen him at both positions, and he's done a pretty fantastic job at both. First pitch now to Owen Diodotti, misses for ball 1.
Diodotti is one of the guys who grounded out to Romano. He likes to pull the ball to right field. If he can get ahead of a curveball, it can be dangerous for the Harbor Hawks.
He grounds that one in between first and second, through for a base hit. Would have been Romano's ball, but sadly he just couldn't get to it, as that brings a runner to first. Diodotti now 1 for 2 on the night.
Yeah, he jumped out in front of that pitch, turned on it, and hit right between first and second. Good piece of hitting there for Diodotti, and puts the 3-hitter on for the 4-5 coming up. A couple of the power bats in the order. Diodotti's a power bat himself, but at least reaches base to set the table.
Diodotti may be a person, the Harbor Hawks don't have a shift inputted into their defensive strategy, but for Diodotti, it might be a person that you might think about.
From what we've seen so far.
As you mentioned, he loves pulling the ball. Both of his hits so far tonight have been to the right side, so might be a good idea to go ahead and input at least a little bit of a shift in there.
And for the guy who's up, Tommy Troy, he goes to all field. He had a homer last night to right center, so not a real shift on him, but you have to be alert in the outfield. He can hit the ball.
Troy already 1 for 1 on the night. He had a single in the first. In last night's game, as Austin mentioned, he had that home run to start off the second inning. After that, went 0 for 4 with 3 flyouts and a ground out. So he ended his night 1 for 5 as he grounds that one foul, brings the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Since that mound visit from Coach Korn last inning, Furtado's been much more effective, getting back-to-back outs after the visit, 3 in a row before that single, and he's been in the zone. He's ahead of another hitter here, 1-2.
Check swing. Yes, he did go. First base is occupied. Another strikeout as Tommy Troy goes down.
Great pitch. That curveball is so tough to hit, especially when he starts it at your knees or your thigh and he has it break down. So it bounces just after the plate, and Caleb Pendleton does a good job of blocking it, not allowing Diodotti to move up any further. Big out number 2.
Pendleton been very good behind the plate. One of the walls for the Harbor Hawks is he looks a little shaken up. He's going to walk on out towards the mound, have a little call for his infield. As with 2 away, Jimmy Crook steps to the plate. Another put out from Ryan Romano at second, where he stepped on second base himself to end the first. The first pitch from Furtado finds the zone for strike 1. Now the Harbor Hawks back to 3 catchers, as we have Pendleton, Ryan Proto, and then a new addition, Joey Raphael. Raphael saw his first appearance in last night's game. Oh, 0-1 now the count, 2 away. Diodotti getting a lead on first. He fakes to second. That's ripped up the middle. That's going to get through for a base hit. Diodotti stays at second, as that's going to bring runners to first and second now for Yohandy Morales, who reached on a walk.
Good piece of hitting there by Crooks as he just times that one up, takes it right back up the middle. Didn't necessarily hammer that ball, but was a solid piece of contact, good enough to get him a base hit. A lot of power here from Morales. He had 11 homers at Miami. You have to be careful with him.
First pitch to Morales. Finds the zone for a strike. 0-1 the count with 2 away. Now, look, taking a glance at my score sheet so far, it seems that Ryan Romano has had every put out to the infield so far tonight.
Well, not a bad start.
Not a bad start at all.
Already had 0-2 on Morales after back-to-back strikes. Lincoln, do you think he goes with the breaking ball? That's what my best bet would be here, would be the breaking ball.
You think breaking ball?
He likes to go with it with 2 strikes.
Yeah,
You have to be careful, though, if you bounce it in the dirt, because with 2 outs, the drop third strike doesn't matter. He can try to get first on it.
Spikes a breaking ball in the dirt. That gets past Pendleton, allowing both runners to advance. So that's going to bring runners now to second and third.
Yeah, there's the breaking ball. Unfortunately, just bounced it before home plate, and just tough with runners on base to throw that pitch. Unfortunately, they move up, but still with 2 strikes in the count. Maybe he goes back to it again, tries to bring it up a little bit in the zone. Also has a good fastball that he can locate. A couple different ways you can go here on a 1-2.
Now, what I will say is that of all the pitches to spike in the dirt, the 0-2 is the one that you want because you can afford a throwaway pitch with an 0-2 count.
You can. It's a little tougher with runners on, but you can definitely afford a waste pitch, I guess. Although a lot of guys don't consider it necessarily a waste pitch because it's still a pitch that you're hoping to be competitive, but a pitch that you don't have to try to locate as hard as, you're not trying to pinpoint it as much. You might try to throw it in the dirt a little bit further.
The 2-2. Called! Strike 3 on the outside corner. A beautiful pitch as that ends the top of the third, and the Gatemen strand 2 more. We headed the bottom half of the third inning, down 1-0 on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network. Caleb Pendleton set to start us off here in the third inning. But first, before we start, a quick word from Curry College. Curry College is where you go to become anything you want. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers with learning beyond the classroom. Explore undergraduate programs, NCAA Division III athletics, and continuing education and graduate studies, including fifth-year master's programs. All of that at www.curry.edu. Count now at 1-1 to Pendleton. Caleb Pendleton getting his first at-bat of the night as he swings at that pitch. Can't find it, 1-2. Pendleton had his last appearance on Monday, where he went 2 for 4, reached base three times, with a pair of singles and then on an error as well. That one grounded down the third base line, through for a base hit. Pendleton is going to round first. He's going to head to second, and that's going to be picked up in the corner by Diodotti, and that is a stand-up double for Caleb Pendleton to start us off here.
Good piece of hitting by Pendleton. Gets out in front of a breaking ball and takes it down the third base line. Placed perfectly, and the Harbor Hawks have the tying run at second base with nobody out. Good start.
Good effort there from James over at third. Ball just got under his glove. And that rolled past the Harbor Hawks bullpen as we wait for Caleb to tie his shoe over at second. Of course, something you definitely want to have fixed up if you're about to run the bases.
Any chance they drop a bunt here, Lincoln?
I wouldn't be surprised. We've seen a lot of speed from Romano.
The way they're shifted, nobody's going to get over to cover first besides the pitcher or the first baseman. You don't have the second baseman in play. If you can push one towards second base by the pitcher, you're in business. And that also, with no outs, would move the run up to third with one away.
Yeah, at least if Romano ends up going down here, if he does show a bunt, at least that would extend the runner. And it would be a fine line that you'd have to cross to get that bunt past the glove of Meyers and get it towards second. Ends up swinging at the 0-1, brings the count now to 0-2. And, of course, with 0-2, you definitely don't want to try to bunt on an 0-2 count.
Very rarely does it happen.
I've seen it before, and I always question what the thought process behind it is because, as we know, with 2 strikes, if you foul it, you're out. It's just, I think it's too big a risk.
Ryan has a good enough bat in this situation where you don't need to have him bunt. I guess at the MLB level, the pitchers, you don't want them getting hurt. Might as well just have him drop a bunt. But Ryan Romano, a great hitter at the plate.
The 0-2 breaking ball swung on and missed. Romano goes now with a 3-pitch strikeout with 1 away as Clark Elliott steps up.
Great breaking ball from Meyers.
Strikeout number 2 on the night for him.
With Clark Elliott up, he's a guy who makes a lot of contact, rarely strikes out. So if he can put a ball on play, might be able to get Pendleton home.
Clark Elliott 0 for 1. Watches that one go outside for ball 1. That 0 for 1 appearance includes a fly out over to Tres Gonzalez in center field. As we know, field dimensions 318 down the third base line, 321 down the first base line. Greek's pole out in the right field corner, and then 390 feet to dead center field.
And Elliott's last 18 at-bats, he only has 1 strikeout.
Wow.
So as mentioned, he's not striking out a lot. He had a few strikeouts early on in the season, but he's been good in his last few at-bats at not punching out.
Firing a hot bat as the 2-0 is fouled off. 2-1 now the count. Elliott, like we mentioned, 319 average so far. A 404 on base percentage. That's good for the highest on the team. He's actually tied for the highest. No, he's tied for second with the highest on-base percentage in tonight's game. Tied at 404 with Owen Diodotti. The only person with a higher on-base percentage is Sean McLean with a 409. Count now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. The pitch from Meyers comes in. Just misses on the inside. Count becomes full at 3-2.
Good take there by Elliott on a pitch too far inside. I was worried they were going to ring him up on it because we've seen an inside pitch like that called, but fortunately the count is now full.
It was an impressive frame job from Crooks behind the plate, but fortunately it was just a tad bit inside. Count is full. Time is called.
Crooks, one of the Wareham Gateman All-Stars.
The full count is chopped. Foul. We'll stay at 3-2. Crooks, one of the 2 catchers we've seen from the Gateman, as Anthony Frechette we've also seen a good amount of times. I believe we've seen Frechette and Crooks twice each, I think.
Believe so. As mentioned, Crooks the All-Star, along with Owen Diodotti, Tommy Troy, all 3 in the lineup tonight for Wareham, Garrett Schmeltz, and Hunter Schilperort. All the All-Stars for the Gateman. They have 5, and that's a ball.
3-2, misses inside. Elliott finds base for the first time tonight after that walk. Brings runners to first and second for Kyle Ball.
It's always a good thing for Wareham when you have all 3 of their all-star hitters in the lineup with Troy, Crooks, and Diodotti. And they've made a difference in this series.
That they have. Kyle Ball now at the plate. 0 for 1 with a strikeout, went down looking in the first.
The team leader in walks with 16.
Really helping his on-base percentage of .316. So he fouls that one off.
He has a terrific eye at the plate, one of the most aggressive but yet patient hitters at the plate. He'll swing a lot early in counts if the pitch is a strike, but he's not going to go chase pitches.
Yeah, it's a lot of things we've seen from a lot of the Harbor Hawk hitters is that they're aggressive at the plate, but at the same time they're not overly aggressive to where they're just swinging at everything in and out of the zone. Count now at 0-1. Meyers, the right-hander, comes set. Runners on first and second. Takes a long look over at second base with Pendleton. Brings the pitch home. That finds the outside of the zone for an 0-2 count.
Oh, 2. Meyers has a good breaking ball. We saw it there on 0-1. Maybe he doubles up and tries to get ball reaching.
We'll see what happens. Meyers with another long look. Takes a second one, kicks, and comes home with the 0-2. Swing and a miss, breaking ball. Good call there, Austin, as that is out number 2.
He froze ball on 0-1 with one over the zone, so he tries to take him further out of the zone. And he does get Kyle Ball swinging on a good pitch. And with 2 away, Luke Mann is a guy who can still drive in runs. He's got a great bat on the air with 16 RBI. Lincoln, even with 2 away, he can definitely make the ball go a long way.
Harbor Hawks looking to tie this game here in the third. They have a runner in scoring position, a base hit. It's all they need. Luke Mann, one of the players that you want at the plate in this situation. He swings at that first pitch. Can't find it for strike 1. Mann 0 for 1, fly out to center field back in the first. He's also went 0 for 3 last night, but he reached base once on a walk in that 8th inning of play. Here's the 0-1. Lined out towards right field. That is brought on by Diodotti. And that is out number 3. A chance for the Harbor Hawks, but Diodotti grabbing that one out of the air for the 3rd out. We head now to the 4th inning of play. Harbor Hawks trailing 1 on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network. The Gateman leading 1-0 here after 3 innings of play as they step up for their next set of at-bats. That's Cameron James, Cade Kern, and Jim Jarvis, the 7, 8, and 9-hole hitters. As Furtado brings this one home, first pitch over to short. That's Kyle Ball throwing to first. A big throw from him for out number 1. Good catch from Nick Romano for that first out.
Kyle Ball, the sure-handed shortstop, with another routine play over there. He's been terrific all season at short, a pillar of consistency for the Harbor Hawks.
The first put out of the game that has not gone to Ryan Romano, so I'm sure that's a relief from him. Or the first infield put out of the game, I'll say. That has not gone to second base.
I know you want to have the ball hit to you, and that's what the message from Gary Calhoun's been. You want the ball out there, you want the ball. But I'm sure Ryan Romano doesn't want the ball this much.
No, definitely not, yeah. Everybody wants the ball hit to them as much as they can, but...
Except for when it's 6 times in the first 3 innings.
Exactly, yeah. Shows how solid he is. A lot of chance for errors out of those 6 balls that he's had, but...
And yet still 0 errors on the scoreboard.
He's been very effective, very solid all season long at the number 4 spot. The 1-1 misses for a ball. 2 balls and 1 strike to count. Cade Kern reached on a walk in his first appearance in the second. No at-bats so far to his line. Ended up getting stranded on second base. 2-1 lofted, and that's going to be in foul territory down the first base line, and that's going to head out of play just behind the Gateman bullpen for strike 2.
Furtado has settled in nicely. A little bit of a rocky first inning. Wasn't bad. He only allowed 1 run, but since then, zeros on the scoreboard. He allowed a couple of harmless base runners, but been able to limit the Gateman.
That's a long drive out towards right center field. That is Johnson coming underneath it for out number 2. A hard hit ball from Kern, but it was not hard enough as Johnson was able to track that one down on the warning track.
This Harbor Hawks outfield is among the best in terms of range. Johnson can go a long way in right field. Clark Elliott has a lot of range in center field, and Mitch Hardigan's got a lot of speed too in left. So they cover a lot of ground, which I'm sure makes their pitchers a little bit more calm on the mound, knowing that if the ball is hit to the gap, there's a good chance one of these guys can still get to it.
A very, very speedy outfield for the Harbor Hawks all season long. First pitch from Furtado just misses on the outside of that zone to Jim Jarvis for a 1-0 count. Jarvis 0 for 1. One of the many putouts that Ryan Romano has had. That one spiked into the right-handed box. That brings us out to 2-0 now. Pretty even game from both teams. Only 1 run between them. Wareham with that 1 run. The Gateman with 3 hits to the Harbor Hawks 2, and no errors so far for either team. That one finds his own first strike. 2 balls and 1 strike to count now. That one grounded over to first. Picked up by Nick Romano. He'll step on the bag himself for out number 3. That's going to end the top half of the 4th inning. We head to the bottom half. Hawks trailing 1-0, looking to get some hitting going on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network. Nick Romano starting us off here. Bottom half of the fourth coming up on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network. Lincoln Revill alongside my good friend Austin DeCouta here. We'll be with you for tonight's game along with the rest of the season as that first pitch to Romano is flown and fouled down the first base line, heading out of play for strike one. Adam Meyers back on the mound for his fourth inning of work.
Meyers been great against Hyannis this season. As mentioned, he had the 5 scoreless innings in his previous start against Hyannis, 3 more tonight. Very tough to get hits off of him. The Harbor Hawks have gotten 2, but unfortunately he's just limited them there. 1 walk allowed, but 0s otherwise.
Meyers' 45th pitch was inside. He brings home his 46th, and that one drops low for ball 2. Meyers doing pretty well on the mound so far. That was his 14th ball of the night. He's thrown 32 strikes. Very effective. That one misses for ball 3. Romano at 0 for 1 so far. He had a fly out over to shortstop as that one goes high. Ball 4, he finds base with a walk.
As we mentioned, Meyers had just 1 walk coming into the ball game, but he has 2 tonight, so the Harbor Hawks are very patient at the dish and putting up some good at-bats.
Now there was another pitcher for the Gateman. I believe it was Pham, I think was his name. He came into this season with only 1 hit, and we also broke that, getting a hit or 2 off of him. That was back in Wareham a couple weeks ago.
Harbor Hawks do a good job of putting up tough at-bats. You know, the record may not show it, but this is a team that's been on a lot of ball games. They've had a lot of close games, but they put up good at-bats every game. Consistently good at-bats.
Zane Harris lines that one down the third base line. That falls foul. A couple of players from the bullpen start racing for it, but it's going to be picked up as it turns into a one-man race.
Austin Wallace winning the race.
Count now at 0-2 to Zane Harris. Harris from Wright State, a massive left-handed hitter, 6'5", 260 pounds.
He's already got a single today. He's seeing the ball well off Meyers.
Throw to first, a close play. Romano's able to get back in safely. Now Romano and Harris, I like where they're set. The 4 and 5 hole, 2 powerful hitters in that 4 and 5 hole spot.
Harris has put up some of the best at-bats on the team as of late, too.
The 0-2 from Meyers. Grounded over towards second, picked up by Troy. The throw on the run, toss over to first is in time. They'll throw it over to second, where Romano is standing on second base, so they won't get him out. But Harris goes down with that 4-3.
Not a bad job there by Zane Harris to make contact. You move the runner up into scoring position. In a 1-run ball game, that's what matters, is just moving that guy to the next station and trying to, if you can't do it yourself, put him in a good spot for the next guy.
Yeah, still have an out to give with only 1 away, and Dom Johnson at the plate. Johnson able to find some open grass quite a bit. He swings at that first pitch and fouls it off for an 0-1 count. Johnson batting .236 on the season. From Oklahoma State, he'll be transferring to Kansas State for the upcoming year. One thing we've seen, quite a few transfers from the Harbor Hawks, especially in this season. We have Mason Greer transferring to Missouri State. Of course, Johnson transferring to Kansas State. Furtado transferring to Alabama.
Austin Wallace is in the transfer portal.
He'll be leaving UT.
I think that's all at the moment.
Yeah, I think so. Of course, few players, if they were in college, they won't be now as they've been drafted. So they'll be signing and heading to the minor leagues.
The Harbor Hawks had 5 players from the 2019 team drafted, 7 from the 2021 current roster. 5 pitchers, 2 position players, and a reliever, Tommy McCollum, signed as an undrafted free agent with the Philadelphia Phillies.
The 1-1 swung on and missed, a breaking ball that got past Crooks. Not far enough for Romano to get over to third, so he'll remain at second with a 1-2 count now.
Unfortunately, just not far away enough from Crooks for Romano to advance. A little bit of a shift on Johnson here.
A little bit. Troy standing just over second. Jarvis into the gap between second and third base, and then James in his usual spot. Here's the 1-2. That's in the dirt. Evening the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
It's a good take. Johnson chased one of those breaking balls in the dirt earlier. Adjusts a little bit and holds up. He's got 2 home runs on the year. He's got some good pop, does Johnson. We'll see what he can do here.
Now, we've mentioned how a lot of players have signed with professional teams. Another former Harbor Hawk that just signed today, actually, Jalen Nowlin, who signed with the Minnesota Twins.
That's good. He was drafted by the Twins in the later rounds in the draft, so he's signed his contract.
Chopper over to short. Jarvis picks that up. Throw on the run. A high throw picked up by Morales for out number 2. Meanwhile, that is Nick Romano now at third base. The only Harbor Hawk up to this point that has reached third base, only 90 feet away from tying this game with Mitch Hardigan at the plate.
So the Harbor Hawks had Mariano Ricciardi drafted to the A's, Adam Hackenberg drafted to the White Sox, the catcher Hackenberg, the second baseman Ricciardi, pitchers Seth Halverson and Andrew Baker to the Phillies. I know Baker has signed his contract. Nowlin to the Twins, like you mentioned, who has signed, and Daniel Lloyd to the Baltimore Orioles, and Hunter Dula to the San Francisco Giants. Not entirely sure if they've all signed yet or who's planning to sign, but we do know, I know Ricciardi signed, we know Nowlin signed now, and we know Baker has signed. I'll have to get some updates there, see if those guys are officially signed or not.
Count now to 0-2 to Mitch Hardigan. Hardigan from FAU, Florida Atlantic. The 0-2 coming in. That misses, gets past. Romano chooses not to go home on the pass ball from Crooks. He stays at third base.
I think he was a little nervous about the ricochet. You're kind of seeing the inexperience of Romano in this team, or this league rather, because he hasn't played a ton of games here at McKeon Park, so he's not used to the ricochet. I think a guy who's been on the team a couple more weeks may have gone home on that play, but sometimes it's better to be safe than sorry.
1-2 finds the outside, called strike 3. Romano left stranded at third as we head to the 5th inning of play. Harbor Hawks trailing 1 on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network. The Gateman coming up for the top half of the 5th inning, leading 1-0 over the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. Harbor Hawks had a chance to tie the game, but sadly Romano was left stranded at third base. So we'll be here for the 5th as that first pitch coming into Tres Gonzalez is lofted into opposite field for a base hit, going into left, gets picked up by Hardigan, and that is a base hit to open up the 5th inning here. Gonzalez was 0 for 2 up to this point with a ground out and a strikeout, but that's his first hit of the night. So that's going to bring Sean McLean now to the plate. McLean has reached once. He's 0 for 1. Reached on a walk and had a fly out in the third. That was Furtado's 71st pitch to Gonzalez that he lofted, so I expect this will probably be his last inning of play as Evan Webster starts to get loose out in the Harbor Hawks bullpen. The 1-0. Check swing there from McLean, but he ends up finding a piece of the ball as that brings the count to 1-1.
Tomorrow is Evan Webster's birthday. So happy early birthday to the Louisville lefty who's warming up in the pen.
The 1-1. That misses for ball 2. We had a birthday a few weeks back. Was it? I think it was Mariano Ricciardi.
It
actually.
was.
His
It was. That
23rd
was in
birthday back in mid-June about.
Yes. I feel like it was in Chatham or Cotuit. It was one of those two games. We were on the road, I believe.
Yeah, we were.
He had a hit in that game.
Two and 1 now the count. Furtado tosses it over to first base. Tag put on from Romano, but not in time as Gonzalez gets back easily. Gonzalez over at first with some speed, as Austin mentioned. He's the Speedy Gonzalez of the Gateman. You know, after finding out you don't know who Speedy Gonzalez is, you know, are you down for some homework after tonight's game?
Homework?
Yeah.
What kind of homework?
Just go home, look up on YouTube, and just look up an episode of Speedy Gonzalez. Throw to first.
Possibly.
Romano chunks it over to second. The tag put on by Ball is in time. The back pick from Furtado gets Gonzalez as there's now one away for a 2-2 count to Sean McLean.
Great move by Furtado. That's a huge out, number 1. Now he might be able to finish this inning rather than having to turn it over to Webster.
Eliminating that runner, and that is strike 3 now. McLean goes down swinging. That is strikeout number 5 on the night for Furtado. As Owen Diodotti steps up to the plate. Diodotti had a single in his last appearance, also reaching third base. First pitch from Furtado finds his own, a very graceful breaking ball there. Brings the count to 0-1 with 2 away. Pitch coming in. Hit back up the middle off the glove of Furtado. He knocks it down, picks it up, throw to first is in time. A good play from Hunter Furtado to end the top of the 5th. And the Gatemen go down in order, you might say, as we head to the bottom half of the 5th. Hawks trailing 1-0 on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
Hawks chasing the Wareham Gateman by a score of 1-0 here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Caleb Pendleton, the leadoff man for Hyannis, swings at the first pitch but fouls it down the left field line, 0-1. 1 run, 4 hits, no errors for the Gateman. No runs, 2 hits, no errors for Hyannis as Adam Meyers is back on the bump for his 5th inning of work. 4 innings, 2 hits, no runs as Pendleton checks his swing and hits it to short. The throw by Jarvis to first is in time, and there's 1 away.
An unfortunate half swing there for Pendleton, as he didn't mean to make contact with that ball, but ended up doing so anyway. I'm sure he would much rather have taken that foul ball there in that second at bat after that double down the third baseline in his last appearance, but there's 1 away now.
And with 1 away, that brings up the Florida State Seminole, Ryan Romano, who takes a called strike, 0-1. Romano went down swinging in his first and only at-bat tonight, which was in the bottom of the 3rd. Meyers gets the sign from Crooks and fires home with a breaking ball, also a called strike, 0-2.
Meyers has been very good at the mound so far. 45 strikes, only 19 balls so far heading to this 5th inning.
The 0-2 swung on and missed. A 3-pitch strikeout as Romano goes down swinging, and there are quickly 2 up and 2 down for the Harbor Hawks here in the bottom of the 5th.
Well, strikeout number 5 on the night for Meyers. He's been fantastic on the mound, as I was saying a moment ago. Now the top of the order here, looking to see if we can find a dent in this game and hopefully get a run across.
That'll bring up Clark Elliott, the Michigan outfielder, and the Cape Cod All-Star. He swings at the first pitch, skies it to right center field. It's Gonzalez making the call and the catch for out number 3. Hyannis goes down in order to end the 5th. The Gatemen still lead it 1-0 on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network. Tommy Troy ready to lead us off here in the top of the 6th. Austin DeCouta and Lincoln Revill here in the broadcast booth. Hunter Furtado back on the hill for now his 6th inning of work, and he's been pretty good tonight for Hyannis.
He really has. He had a little bit of a rusty first and a rusty start to the second, but after that mound visit from Coach Korn in the 2nd inning, he's been very effective.
It's the Korn effect. Goes right out to the mound, calms the guy down, and since then it's zeros on the scoreboard as Furtado has settled in nicely.
Yeah, 5 innings so far, has 4 hits, 1 earned run, walked 3, and has struck out 5.
Breaking ball hit to right center field. Troy's going to reach base to lead things off in the 6th. Johnson gets to it quickly, so he's limited to just a single to lead things off.
Well hit ball there from Troy, finding that breaking ball, being able to loft it over the head of Romano. And a good first hit here in the top of the 6th.
It's in this lineup for the Gatemen. It's Diodotti, Troy, Crooks. 3 straight All-Stars.
And all in the heart of the lineup. A very strong middle of the lineup.
We'll see Crooks here, who is 1 for 2 tonight with a single. First pitch from Furtado is grounded to first. It's just over the jumping glove of Nick Romano. Rounding second, heading for third is Troy. The throw to first as Crooks retreats is grabbed by Nick Romano, and that puts runners on the corners with nobody out.
Good effort from Romano there at first. Sadly, he just couldn't get his glove on it. Leaped up trying to grab it out of the air, but it just went over his glove. Runners on the corners now. still not anything to get worried about. Double play is in order.
Andy Morales digs in. He's walked, and both times he grounds that one to short. Ball on to second for one. The throw to first is in time. It is a double play. Unfortunately, the Gatemen do get a run across, but the Harbor Hawks, sometimes, Lincoln, you'll trade 2 outs for 1 run, and they do that in that situation.
Yeah, definitely the better call there from Kyle Ball. He looked and saw that Troy was heading home, but I think he was a bit too far in the dirt. He was at the back border between the dirt and the outfield, and I think it was a best decision going to second and getting those 2 outs. And like you said, better to trade 2 than 1. And, we've come back from 2 runs before. We came down from 8, for Pete's sake,
right,
a few days ago. So, still nothing to get worried about.
And Troy runs really well, so you're not going to try to risk that throw and end up with no outs in that situation.
Yeah, definitely not. Better to get the two for sure outs than try to get the 1 out at home and end up short with nothing.
Cameron James digging in now as he's behind 0-2. The 0-2 from Furtado, a breaking ball outside 1-2, 79 miles per hour. We've seen him fluctuate that pitch between 79 and as low as 76, I think, tonight. The 1-2. Just misses. That's a tough call.
A beautiful,
Just
beautiful pitch. Wow. That was pitch number 80. That was pitch 87 from Furtado. His pitch count starting to get a high. Webster getting warm out there. This looks like it'll be it for Furtado no matter what.
The 2-2, a soft liner to second. Romano picks it on a hop. The throw to first is in time. I think he might have caught it in the air, but either way, it's out number 3. The Gatemen do add a run. It's 2-0 here on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network. Back here for the bottom of the 6, Kyle Ball, Luke Mann, Nick Romano due up 2-3-4 for Hyannis as they look to battle back against the Gateman. They trail 2-0. 2 runs, 6 hits, no errors for Wareham. No runs, 2 hits, no errors for Hyannis as a first pitch is a called strike to Kyle Ball. The new pitcher, the left-hander, Garrett Schmeltz from Louisville. Schmeltz on the season is 1-0 with a 2.00 ERA. He was also named to the All-Star team for the Gateman. First time we've seen him this season. In 9 innings, he has 17 strikeouts and allowed just 1 hit as Kyle Ball fouls that one off. The count is 1-2.
Ball looking for his first time on tonight. Chance to start us off here in the bottom of the 6th with a base hit if he can.
The 1-2 to Ball. He reaches out and flies that one down the left field line. It's curving foul and out of play.
A couple gloves are put up from the bullpen, but they don't really make an effort for that one as that sails well over the fence.
Ball looking to avoid being struck out for the 3rd time in tonight's ball game. He is 0-2.
Now we were questioning after his last time on base whether the Gatemen were in a shift. And it turns out they are, yes.
Ball flies that one to center field. Gonzalez is back on it. He puts the glove up and makes the catch for out number 1. So Schmeltz retires the first man he faces here in the bottom of the 6th.
A very well hit ball there from Ball. But sadly it just wasn't too far in the gap as Gonzalez was able to come back a little bit to his left and make the catch.
That'll bring up Luke Mann with 1 away. Mann is 0-2 with a pair of relatively deep flyouts. Coming into the ball game, Mann had been the team leader. He still is a team leader in homers and RBI with 3 homers and 16 RBI. That first pitch breaking ball misses. 1-0 the count to Mann. Schmeltz, the left-handed pitcher, features a good fastball and a good breaking ball, which you see there. Slowed down to 72 miles per hour, but it is a ball. 2-0. The 2-0. Called strike. The fastball finds the zone. It's 2-1.
Schmeltz, the sophomore at Louisville, hometown from Louisville, Kentucky.
Called strike. The count evens up at 2-2 to Luke Mann.
His season at Louisville this past season, in 18 and a third innings pitched, ended up with 21 hits, 15 runs, 12 of which were earned. He walked 6, struck out 16 for an ERA of 5.89. Also gave up 3 home runs during that span.
Schmeltz gets the sign from Crooks. The 3-2 to Luke Mann. Breaking ball, called strike 3. Mann goes down looking. He did not like that call. He dropped the bat, was getting ready to take off his shin guard, but unfortunately, Mann is down on strikes and retreats to the dugout.
Great breaking ball there from Schmeltz. It was just touching the outside corner, and even if it did touch a little bit outside with an 0-2 count, that's one of those pitches that you just have to fight off there. It's a little too close to just watch it go with that 3-2 count.
Nick Romano digs in for the 3rd time in the ball game. He's 0-1, but did reach base safely via the walk in the bottom of the 4th. The 1-0, a called strike to Romano. 1-1 the count evens up. If you're just joining us, Austin DeCouta and Lincoln Revill in the broadcast booth tonight as the Harbor Hawks trail the Gateman by a score of 2-0. Here in the bottom of the 6th, Garrett Schmeltz on the mound as Nick Romano at the plate chops that one foul. Off towards Travis Poole, the Harbor Hawk hitting coach, who's in the 3rd base coach's box. Count now 1-2 with 2 away.
And we've seen quite the stretch of games where Gary Calhoun now coaching over at first base instead of third. It seems to be working. Since they've made the switch, we're really doing a lot better at the plate, a lot better on the mound.
The 1-2, a breaking ball laid off and called the ball. 2-2, the count evens up.
Oh, Austin, do I dare? What do you think? What do you think?
No, I think the lucky hat might just be retired.
Yeah, it might be. Might be time to go.
The 2-2 with 2 away. And it's a called strike 3 as that pitch looked a little bit low to Romano, but he goes down looking to end the 6th inning. Hyannis trails 2 here on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network. Back here for the 7th inning, a new pitcher, Evan Webster, on the mound. Before we tell you about him, it's word from Milton Cat, one of our sponsors. For sales and rentals of Caterpillar machinery, generators, and marine engines, visit MiltonCat.com, your area Cat dealer. Milton Cat, the Cape and Islands Caterpillar dealer, is proud to be a sponsor of today's game. Evan Webster, tomorrow he'll be celebrating his birthday, but for tonight he looks to limit the Wareham Gateman's bats here in the 7th. Webster, the left-hander from Louisville. Pair of lefties from Louisville in this ball game now, with Schmeltz for the Gateman and Webster for Hyannis as the throw down by Pendleton is a strike per usual, and we get ready for the 7th.
Now, can we talk about that read that you just did? I don't think those of y'all watching this realize just how amazing that was. You just did that memorized.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
We read it once a game, so I've started to pick up on it.
It makes sense, yeah. You know, I feel like if I tried to memorize it, I feel like I could have it memorized right now. I just read it just so I make sure I don't get it wrong, you know?
That's fair.
I don't trust myself.
I have it here, too, if I need it.
Yeah, of course.
It's 8-9-1 due up here for Wareham. Kern, Jarvis, Gonzalez. Cade Kern tonight 0 for 1. He's walked and reached base, though, back in the 2nd. The 1-0 from Webster is fouled off. Out of play, 1-1 the count, evens up.
Webster chose to attend Louisville over the University of Kentucky along with Xavier.
It's always impressive to see how many offers these guys get for Division I schools and opportunities, and Louisville very lucky to have his services.
Mm-hmm.
The 2-1 fouled off. 2-2 the count, evens up to Cade Kern. Kern comes into the ball game with 2 homers, 13 RBI on the season. The lefty on deck, Gonzalez. Matchups with lefties usually favor Webster, the left-handed pitcher. A called strike 3 on a fastball outside, sets down Kern. As that'll bring up Jarvis, the lefty, then Gonzalez. So back-to-back lefties for Wareham, as it's the 9-hitter Jarvis who digs in. 0 for 2 on the night.
Fantastic pitch from Webster to start this outing off, and a fantastic way to start it off with a strikeout. Left Kern's frozen in the box there.
The windup and the first pitch to Jarvis is popped up. Up near the lights, Luke Mann looks for it. He locates it, makes the catch, and there's 2 away. 2 up, 2 down, right out of the bullpen for Webster.
Good start here. Tres Gonzalez coming up, so you have the top of the lineup. See if he can make it 3 up, 3 down here.
Tres Gonzalez. Gonzalez is 1 for 3 tonight.
Had a ground out and a strikeout in the first and second innings, and then had that single in the fifth where he ended up being taken out at second base later on in the inning.
A pick-off move from Furtado got him trying to go, and then Nick Romano, the first baseman, made a good throw to the covering shortstop at second base, Kyle Ball. Always good to see them get outs on the base paths.
Yeah, fantastic back pick there from Furtado.
The 2-0 to Gonzalez. Called strike at the knees, 2-1. Gonzalez came into the ball game hitting .287, a reason he was in that leadoff spot and has been for most of the games we've faced the Gateman this season.
Remember fans, thanks to our friends at St. Mary's Episcopal Church of Hartsville. You keep all foul balls that leave the field tonight.
Gonzalez was drafted in the 37th round by the Los Angeles Dodgers in 2019, but instead chose to attend Georgia Tech. The 2-2 is fly ball, left field, Hardigan ranging back. A few steps in front of the warning track, he puts his glove up and brings it in for out number 3. The Gatemen go down in order as the near birthday boy Evan Webster has a solid start to his night. Bottom of the 7th coming up in a moment on the Harborhawks Baseball Network. Bottom of the 7th inning ready to begin here from Judy Walden Scarafile Field at McKeon Park. Austin DeCouta with Lincoln Revill in the broadcast booth as Zane Harris leads us off.
The 7th inning stretch just concluded. A beautiful rendition of Take Me Out to the Ball Game from our scoreboard operator, George.
He nailed it.
He did, very much.
Lincoln, I think you're up next game for that, right?
Hey, I'm down. I have a little bit of singing experience. I wouldn't say I'm good, but, I've sang before. I was in a school musical my senior year, but other than that, haven't done anything.
To put you to the test here at the ballpark next home game. The 0-1 to Harris, a breaking ball fouled off, and that's going to make for a souvenir nearly caught by a fan, unfortunately, off the glove. 0-2 the count to the Wright State slugger.
Almost would have had to add a player to our outfield if he would have made that catch.
Garrett Schmeltz back on the hill here for the 7th after he fired a scoreless 6, which included 2 strikeouts. He's ahead here on Harris, 0-2, as some dark clouds are ahead, an overcast night here at McKeon. That one is flown to left field, a base hit for Harris. He stays on the breaking ball and reaches base with his 2nd hit of the night.
Good start from Harris, lofting that one just over the head of Jarvis, and a good start to this 7th inning of play. Chance for the Harborhawks to add on their first run of the game, and hopefully maybe more.
Dom Johnson coming up to bat now for the 3rd time in the ball game. He is 0 for 2, but he's put the ball in play both times, once to center and once to short. The shift continues tonight on Johnson as the second baseman Troy is over near second base, not entirely as far as he was before. That one's grounded back up the middle, off the glove of Schmeltz. He'll look to one and make the throw as Harris advances to second. Would have been a tough double play turn anyways because of how fast Johnson is, but they do get the one, and Harris moves up into scoring position.
I think Schmeltz might have been taking out some anger on that throw. He whelped it over to first.
Would like to know how fast he threw that ball.
Uh-huh. We need to see if we can get a speed gun over above the visiting dugout, see if we can get some of those speeds every once in a while.
Looks like have a runner enter the game for Zane Harris on second as we get a little bit more speed out there with Trent Taylor, the outfielder. We saw him make his debut, was it last night he pinch hit for Clark Elliott?
It was last night. In his outing, he came in the 7th for Elliott and ended his night 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts.
I hope he's been stretching in the dugout. Enter the game, he's got a chance from second to possibly score on a base hit to the outfield. Got a good lead,
Ooh.
a very good lead. Thought he might be going, but a long pause from Schmeltz. That one is fouled off, 0-1.
Taylor's very antsy over at second base. He started jumping over to third, jumped a couple more times, but he's moving over there on second.
He has good speed. I'm not sure if Schmeltz has thrown over yet. He hasn't had a base runner allowed besides Harris, so we'll see what his pickoff move is like. If he does indeed decide to go that way, the 0-1 awaits to Hardigan. Decent lead by Taylor, and he's going to step off.
Understandable after all that movement from Taylor while he was leading off. I expect he wouldn't be surprised if he tried to steal third here.
The count is 0-1 to Mitch Hardigan. Taylor getting jumpy again at second, and he's going to go on the pitch. Breaking ball is not in time. It gets into left field. Here comes Taylor. He's going to come home to score as he steals steals third, that is, and comes home on the error on the throw by Crooks. So the Harbor Hawks have cut the lead in half. It's 2-1.
All right, that's a way to get on the board. Cut the lead in half now. Chance to score some more runs here. Good running there from Taylor. He was able to avoid the tag as that ball went underneath, and he just very good awareness on the base path.
1-1 the count to Hardigan. The pitch from Schmeltz is a fastball that misses, 2-1.
Hardigan reached base once in the second after that fielder's choice. Went down looking in his last appearance in the 4th.
The 2-1 to Hardigan. A fastball to Hardigan gives that one a pretty good ride to deep left field. Back on it, turning around, and it's off the bottom of the wall. Diodotti couldn't get to it. Mitch Hardigan is at second with a stand-up double with one away.
An eventful inning for the Harbor Hawks here. One run came in, another run in scoring position. One away. Feeling good about this inning. Have a good feeling.
Caleb Pendleton at the plate. Hardigan in scoring position. He is the tying run for Hyannis here in the bottom of the 7th. That's going to prompt a mound visit here for Wareham.
Hardigan, no stolen bases on the season, no attempts. Actually, no. He has one stolen base. Actually, 1 for 1 on attempts. So he does have some speed.
Schmeltz had retired the first 3 batters he faced before a Zane Harris single. Followed up by a ground out by Dom Johnson, which moved Harris in the scoring position at second. They then had a runner come in, which was Trent Taylor. Taylor stole third and got home on a throw that skipped into left field, which makes it 2-1. Mitch Hardigan follows that up with a double. 2-1. The Gatemen got their runs early. Well, the first run early, I should say. In the first inning, McLean came home on an RBI single from Troy. And one more run came home in the 6th, which was Troy scoring on an RBI groundout, which was part of a double play, which Morales hit into. 2-1 the lead for Wareham, the tying run at second. Caleb Pendleton at the plate for Hyannis.
We've seen some power from Pendleton this season.
First pitch to Pendleton is a big swing, and he can't connect with an off-speed pitch. 0-1 the count.
He was trying to take that one yard, trying to give us the lead. Sadly, he just couldn't come up with it.
Adam Meyers got the start tonight for the Gateman and was terrific. 5 innings, 2 hits, no runs, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts. Garrett Schmeltz in relief has been good, but unfortunately a couple of base runners have been allowed this inning, and 1 run has come across. The count is 0-2 to Caleb Pendleton. So what Pendleton can do here, he's a good 2-strike hitter. He does have some power with 2 homers and 5 RBI on the year. He also has a double in tonight's ball game. The 0-2 to Pendleton. A breaking ball or misses inside. That one, Crooks was trying to get him to go backdoor as he set up outside, had to reach across the plate. The count is 1-2.
That was an interesting pitch. It didn't look like it had very much noticeable break on it, but it came in a lot slower than his fastball has been.
The 1-2 is looked like a balk maybe there.
It did.
But Schmeltz steps off, and Calhoun's going to come chat. That was a very awkward step off.
Yeah, he didn't turn towards second. He stepped off towards first on that one.
See if Pendleton can do something here. The 1-2. Breaking ball that hits Pendleton on the back foot. So Caleb Pendleton reaches base safely, and now Hyannis with the tying run on second, the go-ahead run at first with 1 away here in the bottom of the 7th.
Get on base any way you can. Pendleton doing just that. Saw that breaking ball. He thought about going around, but he saw it break, held his bat back, and that ended up hitting him on the back side of his foot. Good chance here for Romano. Romano's 0 for 2. With 1 away here, if Romano can reach base, that'll bring up the front of our lineup where we know stuff can happen.
Ryan Romano is 0 for 2 tonight, but he's had a few key hits this season. Ground ball to short. They'll take the out at third, and that's all the Gatemen will get, but they do get the lead runner. A smart play over at shortstop by Jarvis to get the lead runner, and there's 2 away.
That was a smart play over from Jarvis, tossing it over to James to get the lead runner instead of trying for the double play. They might have gotten the runner heading to second. They might have been able to get Pendleton, but I don't think they would have gotten Romano on that play. So I think it was the best decision getting it to third for the 1 out.
Garrett Schmeltz looking to work his way out of danger and protect a 1-run lead. 2-1, the Gatemen lead it. Clark Elliott at the plate for Hyannis, looking to come through here and possibly tie the ball game up. Pendleton on second, Romano on first. The breaking ball is a called strike 0-1 to the Michigan All-Star outfielder.
Elliott has reached base in this game. He got walked in the third. Other than that, he's had 2 flyouts, both to center field. Gonzalez making those catches.
Continues to make contact on a daily basis, does Elliott. Schmeltz comes set. The 0-1. Breaking ball, called strike 2. A couple of tough pitches there. And Elliott is behind 0-2.
Schmeltz really loves that breaking ball in the outside corner, and he's finding it. Very nice pitching.
Tough pitch to get out in front on. If you wait too long on it, it's going to be just fouled off. The count 0-2 to Elliott. Tying run at second for Hyannis. Big pitch here from Schmeltz. The 0-2. Fastball. Did he go? And they will just say that Elliott went around. The Harbor Hawks do get a run as they cut the lead in half. They're still trailing 1 here heading into the 8th. A good inning as they get a run here on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network. The final frames ahead as the 8th inning gets ready to begin. Lincoln, the Harbor Hawks have battled back into this ballgame. They were down 2-0, but got a run in the bottom of the 7th. It was an impressive inning for Hyannis, and it's always good to see them scoring runs late and still very much in this ballgame. One swing of the bat could tie it up.
Yeah, very much. We got that one run across. Great running there from Trent Taylor. And now it's time to see if we can tack on that one more run while getting some good pitching from Evan Webster. We've seen a good first inning from him. Looking for some more good stuff.
Retired to the Gateman 1-2-3 in the top half of the 7th. He fires a strike, 1-1 the count to Sean McLean.
There is some action in the Harbor Hawks bullpen. Somebody probably about to come in for the 9th.
That's Cooper McKeon, the lefty from BYU.
McKeon, we saw, has a couple skills as an artist as well. The past few games we've had that cursive H behind home plate. McKeon has been responsible for painting that H. Doing a fabulous job, I think. He freehands it, too. That's what makes it more impressive. He freehands it.
I definitely could not do that.
No. If I tried to do something like that, I might get like a crudely drawn, just a regular H, you know? Not the cursive thing like he does.
2-2 from Webster to McLean. That one is a ball in the dirt, 3-2.
McLean reached home once after that time with a walk. Fly out and a strikeout the rest of the time.
3-2 on its way. Fly ball down the right field line. It's curving out of play. Johnson's going to give it a look. He won't be able to get there. As it drops foul, the count will hold at 3-2. David Furtado, a.k.a. Hunter Furtado, got the start tonight for the Harbor Hawks. He went 6 innings, allowed 6 hits, 2 runs, 3 walks, and 5 strikeouts. 1 run came across in that first inning. He then blanked the Gateman the next 4, and then 1 more came across in the top of the 6th. A solid outing for the future Crimson Tide athlete. 3-2 is fouled off again. Good battle brewing here between McLean and Webster.
Webster looking to retire his 4th batter. All 4 batters that he's faced would be retired if he can get this one.
The 3-2 on its way. Breaking ball, lined foul. Good play made by Austin Wallace as he gloves that line drive towards the bullpen, protecting the bullpen catcher tonight, Raphael. The 3-2 once more. Swing and a miss. Good battle there, and Webster wins that one as the first man of the top of the 8th is retired by the punch-out.
Strikeout number 2 on the night for Wallace. Half of the batters that he has faced have been retired by way of the punch-out. And with 1 away, Diodotti coming up to the plate. We know that he can be dangerous. Let's see what happens.
Diodotti 1 for 3 on the night with a single. The home run and RBI leader of the Cape. Breaking ball misses 1-0. Have to be careful with him.
Diodotti overall batting .270. He's 1 for 3 on the night with a single in the 3rd. Reached 3rd in that time.
The 1-0. Called strike, 1-1.
Wallace with a pretty great looking breaking ball as well. We've seen a lot of beautiful breaking pitches between all of our pitchers tonight.
The 1-1. As that one's popped up. Ryan Romano makes the call and the catch behind the pitcher's mound for out number 2. And Evan Webster looking good. 5 up, 5 down.
Yep, the night keeps on going for Ryan Romano, making yet another put out over at second base. A good 2 outs here in the 8th. 5 straight retired now for Webster. Looking to make it 6 here with Tommy Troy.
Tommy Troy, a pair of singles tonight, as well as an RBI and a run scored.
Troy's been able to bring his average to 300 exactly after that last at-bat. That single where he reached home as the 2nd run of the game for the Gateman.
The 1-0. Line drive, base hit up the middle. Tommy Troy has himself a 3-hit game. He's around first, heading for second as Elliott gets to it in right center. It is a 2-out double for the Stanford middle infielder.
Well, I just said Troy was able to extend his average to 300. Now it'll be even higher after a good opposite field double there. Elliott could have Looked like it was going to be a single at first, but it ended up carrying a little bit and taking what looked like a pretty good jump once it hit the grass, and Elliott ended up having to get on his horse to make that grab instead of letting it roll to the fence.
Rounding off the trio of all-stars for the Gateman in the lineup, that is, they have two pitchers who are all-stars, is Jimmy Crooks at the plate. Crooks 2 for 3 tonight. That all-star trio of Diodotti, Troy, and Crooks have a combined 6 hits and RBI, doing some damage in the middle of the order. Webster gets the signs from Pendleton and comes set. The 1-0 on its way. That misses, 2-0 the count.
Two away here. You're looking to strand that runner on second base with Troy. Keep the Gateman from scoring that third run. We cut their lead in half after that after that 7th inning, I should say.
The 2-0 is popped up into shallow left field. It's drifting towards medium left field as Hardigan makes the catch to end the inning. The Gateman strand a man in scoring position. 2-1 their lead as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning on the Harborhawks Baseball Network. Of the 8th inning, Hyannis chasing 1. New pitcher on the mound is the left-hander Hunter Schilperort from the Wareham Gateman. He's an all-star. One of the 2 all-star pitchers. We just saw the other in Schmeltz. Austin DeCouta, Lincoln Revill here with you in the booth as Hyannis will bring...
It is, yeah. The Ball, Man, and Romano. 3 hitters that we know can reach base pretty regularly. They're pretty consistent, especially Romano, who's been electric in his first 3 games.
Let's see what the Harborhawks can do here as Kyle Ball gets ready to dig in. Ball on the night is 0 for 3 with a pair of punch-outs and a fly-out to center. The Gatemen will bring out their shift against the Stetson shortstop as the second baseman, Troy, is just a few steps to the right of second base in shallow center field. Jarvis, the shortstop, is around his normal positions, probably about 5 or 6 feet to the left of where he would normally stand. And the third baseman, Cameron James, that is, in on the grass. That one's lined just past the diving glove of Jarvis. A leadoff single for Kyle Ball on the first pitch he sees. And the Harborhawks are in business now, Lincoln.
Well, that's a little impressive. We've seen it. We've seen the shift beaten from opposite field before, but you don't really see it very often where you beat it hitting into the shift. A perfect place ball there from Ball for that opening single.
Tying run on first base for Hyannis with nobody out. the go-ahead run at the plate in one of the most dangerous hitters in the ballgame, Luke Mann. Unfortunately, he's 0 for 3 tonight, but he's hit the ball well in 2 of his at-bats. He's flown out to deep right center, that is.
After this pitch, I'll take a quick look at the scoreboard around the league.
Third baseman comes in on the grass. I think it's very unlikely Luke Mann's going to drop a bunt.
No, I don't think so. I'm not really sure why James is up there. I saw last inning. I think it was against Pendleton actually last inning when he was up on the grass again, and I got kind of confused there.
Now, of course, you want to move that runner up at least, but Mann has a good enough bat. That one's flown to left center field. Diodotti is under it. He makes the catch for out number 1. Ball retreats to first.
That was a well-hit ball there from Mann. It looked like it was going to go further off the bat, but it ended up not carrying enough. Diodotti was able to make that grab out in left field. Now looking around the scores from around the league, the Harwich Mariners are leading the YD Red Sox 6-1 in the top of the 5th. Falmouth and Bourne, they're in a delay right now. They still haven't, no score update from them. Orleans and Brewster, nothing posted yet for them either, or Cotuit and Chatham. Only 2 scores right now. It's Wareham and Hyannis with a 2-1 score, and then YD and Harwich with 6-1.
We'll have to check the team's Twitter pages for an update. Hopefully they have something there. Sometimes they're a little bit slower to put it on the website. Nick Romano up here. Romano on the night 0 for 2 with a walk. Pickoff move once again to first as Kyle Ball back in standing. Skill Peror entered the game this inning to start. As mentioned, Meyers got the start tonight for the Gateman. 5 innings he went, 2 hits, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, and no runs. Garrett Schmeltz came in relief of him, who went 2 innings, allowed 2 hits and 1 run, while striking out 3. The count 1-0 to Romano. The count to Romano, the UCF first baseman who was recently added to the ballgame. He drives that one to right center field. Ranging back is Curran. He won't get there. It drops. Rounding second. Heading for third is Kyle Ball. He'll be held there. It's a double for Nick Romano, which puts the tying run 90 feet away here with 1 away in the bottom of the 8th.
The bat keeps going for Romano, flapping his arms there. His little celebration as he gets that double. Runners on second and third now. And now Trent Taylor coming in to hit in place. And they're going to give Ball a free base.
So Kyle Ball's going to score. This ball game is tied. I don't know what happened, but it's tied. All right.
Sweet.
What happened?
I don't know. They're giving Romano third now. What's happening?
I have no idea what's happening, but we're tied.
Yeah.
We are tied at 2.
I mean, I'm not mad at that it happened. I'm just confused. You know?
Does it?
Nobody knows what.
Can we get someone down to the dugout and see what happened?
Gavin, go find out what just happened. How do we get a run? Ask the coach. Coach here.
We'll try to find out what happened as the Gateman manager has come out to have a conference with the first base umpire. Trent Taylor due up in a minute. We'll try to figure out why the Harbor Hawks were awarded an extra base. So the double for Nick Romano, then there was something called in between. And it'll be another mound visit here for Wareham. If you try to sort out what happened, I don't think anybody knows why they got the run. I think they may have somehow called a balk on Skilperort, but we'll have to find out. Trent Taylor is due up nonetheless. Taylor came in to pinch run for Zane Harris. That was back in the bottom of the 7th. Taylor then stole third and came home to score on the same play as the ball trickled into left field. Hyannis has the game tied at 2 apiece.
Now the word up here in the press box, it's not official yet, but what we think it might be is that the second baseman, Troy, we think he might have had the ball after the play, sort of like a hidden ball trick, and then Skilperort stepped onto the mound while the second baseman had the ball. And so it's basically a balk from that point, because if you try to run a hidden ball trick, you're not allowed, the pitcher can't step on the rubber while he doesn't have the ball.
We'll have to dig a little deeper to figure that one out.
Yeah, that's the unofficial word up here in the booth. We're going to see what it is officially. We have someone checking on that right now.
After all the madness, the game is tied. The dugout does not know either what's going on. We had them check in with the coaching staff. Nobody's not entirely sure. I think Gary Calhoun, the manager, is your best bet to figure out what happened.
Yeah, we're gonna have to wait until this inning. We're gonna have to wait until this inning's over to figure out what really happened.
And we're gonna have a pinch runner here for Hyannis as Caden Rose comes into the ball game to pinch run for Nick Romano. Rose has good speed, so Lincoln, that puts in a lot of things into play here. With Rose's speed, a pass ball, you could have the lead, a sac fly now. Even medium deep, I think Rose has good enough speed to get in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we've seen a lot of speed from Rose this time. Now, infield is in, so a hard hit ball from Taylor could result in a base hit, and we wouldn't have to worry about that pop fly. We'll see what happens.
First pitch to Taylor. He swings in a soft grounder to third. Picked in fair territory, and the throw on to first is in time. A good play at third base by James, and there's 2 away. And there's a little bit of a collision at first between Taylor.
Yeah, James is a little shaken up, and
Morales at first. With Taylor.
Good throw from James over at third. Yeah, Morales was stretching his arm out a bit there. As he caught the ball, Taylor collided with his arm. I think he might have stretched it out a little bit more than Morales would have wanted.
Tie game at 2 apiece. A Nick Romano double put runners at second and third. Kyle Ball and Romano were each awarded an extra base after the play's near conclusion. We're waiting on the official word on why that is. We're thinking it was something to do with a balk after the play. So the Harbor Hawks have tied Wareham at 2 apiece. Here in the bottom of the 8th, the go-ahead run at third. Johnson swings and he hits that one to right field. Nearing the line, it's going to drop. A base hit for Dom Johnson. He's on his way to second. The throw not in time. It's an RBI double, and the Harbor Hawks have the lead. It's 3-2.
Well, Johnson showing off his speed in the perfect way there. That was landed pretty shallowly out there in right field. It was about halfway to the fence, and Kern, who has a pretty good arm out there in right field, chunked it in. But Johnson was able to beat out the throw into second, and he has a double on what should have probably been a single for anybody else.
And we've talked the last couple of nights about their shift to Dom Johnson, how he's one of 2 guys, Johnson and Romano, who the shift when they're up doesn't make as much sense because they hit the ball to right field all the time, and you see it there by Johnson.
Johnson has a home run out to right field, so the shift doesn't really make sense because he hits it out. He hits it to all parts of the field.
He lives to that opposite field. That's where he's comfortable. He also can pull the ball, of course, but he just peppers right field. Harbor Hawks now have the lead 3-2. Mitch Hardigan at the plate. The 1-0 is a ball 2-0. Hyannis able to crack Shilperort a bit. They get 2 runs here in the bottom of the 8th. It's been one of the best pitchers this season for Wareham. Had a .82 ERA coming into this outing. Hardigan awaits the 2-0, a breaking ball called strike. Hardigan on the night is 1 for 3 with a double. We'll see if he can give the Harbor Hawks an insurance run. Cooper McKeon seems to be warm in the Harbor Hawks bullpen. We'll see if he can come secure the save in the 9th or if they go with Webster for one more. 3-2 the lead. The 2-1-2. Hardigan is fouled off towards the parking lot and just misses a car.
Oh.
They were alert. They jammed on the brakes. 2-2, 2 away. A big spot here.
You want the hat?
Lincoln has a lucky hat that we normally use with 2-2, 2 away. It's been a little bit of a losing streak, but we'll see if he can break it here.
I'll bring it out. Here we go.
The 2-2 runner goes. Breaking ball, hit up the middle. A base hit for Mitch Hardigan. Johnson is on his way home. The ball is past the center fielder Gonzalez, and Hardigan's going to run. He's on his way to third. And Mitch Hardigan drives in Johnson. A big insurance run. 4-2 Hyannis.
Well, the hat worked.
Lincoln's lucky hat is now here to stay.
Yeah, it's been brought out of retirement twice now. Hey, I'm not mad about that.
A mound visit once again for Wareham. We'll see if it will result in a pitching change, and it indeed will. Hyannis scores 3 in the bottom of the 8th, as they have now taken a 4-2 lead. A pitching change here from McKeon Park. We'll be back in a moment on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network. The Harbor Hawks have struck for 3 here in the bottom of the 8th and a chance to add another. Mitch Hardigan stands at third after an RBI triple. Caleb Pendleton at the plate. He'll greet the new pitcher, Kevin Acey, for the Wareham Gateman. Austin DeCouta, Lincoln Revill here with you in the booth, which for a game that started 1-0 has become an exciting ball game in the end, as Hyannis scored 1 in the bottom of the 7th, 3 in the bottom of the 8th.
Yeah, these last 2 innings have been nothing short of fantastic on the side of the Harbor Hawks.
Breaking ball finds the zone, 1-1 the count. Kevin Acey looking to limit the damage even further. As mentioned, Hardigan stands on third. He's got a double and a triple. As that ball just got by Gonzalez, they're going to look at that one after the game, make sure that it's still officially a triple, the 1-1. Misses. Breaking ball came across too high, 2-1.
Now, we do have word on that balk that came in a little while ago, as what seemed to have happened is that Jarvis ended up keeping the ball himself, and then during that time, it was Schmeltz, I think. No, it was Skilperort, yeah. Skilperort ended up stepping onto the mound without the ball. And if the pitcher steps onto the mound without the ball, it's a balk, and the runners get to advance a run, or a base.
That brought home Kyle Ball, which tied the game. 2-2 with 2 away to Pendleton. Lincoln's lucky hat is back. Supposed to bring the Harbor Hawks good luck. The 2-2, ground ball to second. Fielded there by Troy. The throw into first ends the inning, but Hyannis strikes for 3. We head to the 9th inning, 4-2 the lead for the Harbor Hawks here on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network. Cooper McKeon on the mound looking to lock down the save. 4-2, Hyannis leads it over Wareham. Austin DeCouta, Lincoln Revill in the broadcast booth with you. One defensive change this inning. Mason Greer is in to play first base. Nick Romano got the start over there tonight and had an exceptional ball game. It was pinch ran for by Caden Rose. Now Greer comes in defensively. Cooper McKeon looking for his first save of the year. We've seen him used in a variety of roles for Hyannis this year. He started one ball game. He's come in relief a couple of times. We'll see what McKeon can do here against a still very tough Wareham lineup. Called strike. First pitch at 81 miles per hour on the breaking ball. 0-1. He'll have to deal with Yohandy Morales, Cameron James, and Cade Kern. 6, 7, 8 due up for Wareham. 4-2, Hyannis leads it. A 3-run bottom of the 8th was the key to coming back tonight for the Harbor Hawks. A fastball misses 1-1.
Now Harbor Hawks got down to a 2-0 deficit. Able to fight back with 4 unanswered runs, and momentum is now completely in the Harbor Hawks' favor.
1-1 the count. Morales has been solid all ball game. He has a walk, an RBI on a ground out, a pair of walks that is, and a stolen base.
All right, Austin, we just have our attendance in for the night. So after this pitch, take a guess after this pitch comes in.
All right, McKeon stares down Pendleton as the 1-2 awaits. Time is called. I'll have a little mound visit, so I guess I'll throw my guess in now. 1,320.
Oh, you were incredibly close. 1,329.
Oh,
So close.
I did peek at the note.
Oh, you did?
before.
Oh. I was about to say, that was incredible.
I just couldn't see the last number.
Ah, okay. I got very surprised, but then I realized, oh, wait.
I was looking at the note that was being passed. I was like, what's that? And then I saw the attendance. I was like, you know what? I'll see if I can sneak in a good guess, but I could not see the last number.
Yeah, makes sense.
Another good crowd at McKeon Park as they hope to witness a Harbor Hawks victory. Hyannis ahead 4-2.
I don't think we've had a game this season that's been below 1,000, have we?
Not that I
don't think
remember.
so,
I mean,
yeah.
every game has been over 1,000 fans. A couple over 2,000, one over 3.
Mm-hmm.
I think Katuitt are the games that really the stands get packed with that rivalry for the Patriot Cup. I mean, all the stands are packed every day, but it seems when Katuitt comes to town, there's even more fans as the 2-2 is a ball, 3-2 the count.
Yeah, definitely Katuitt. I think Falmouth, we had a good outing. The YD game, that was a pretty good outing too.
It was.
Yarmouth Dennis.
A lot of the closer teams. Wareham, we still get some fans. Not as many traveling with the team. Wareham, I don't think we get as many for Bourne, Orleans, and maybe Chatham, some of the further ballparks or further team locations, that is. A beautiful ballpark here in Hyannis. Judy Walden Scarafile Field, the scene. The 3-2 swung on and missed. McKeon strikes out the first batter he faces, and Hyannis has out number 1 here in the 9th.
Fantastic breaking ball, starting it in the zone, dropping it below, and Morales ended up chasing after it. He couldn't find it. A great strikeout to start this outing for McKeon and a great first out.
A pinch hitter here, it appears, for the Gateman. Jack Brannigan. We saw him get the start at third base last night. Brannigan on the season, hitting .255 with 2 RBI. He comes in for Cameron James. First pitch comes in, nearly hits Brannigan. 91 as McKeon says hello to the new third baseman.
Couple of great outings for the Harbor Hawks so far. Hunter Furtado, as we know, started with 6 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, and 5 strikeouts. Webster came in relief with 2 innings of his own, only 1 hit allowed and 2 strikeouts in those 2 innings.
Cooper McKeon has been one of the best strikeout pitchers on the season for Hyannis, in 11 2/3 innings pitched. He has 22 punchouts, and he's got an even count at 1 apiece to Jack Brannigan. If you're just joining us, Austin DeCouta, Lincoln Revill in the booth as Hyannis looks to hold on to a 4-2 win here in the top of the 9th.
Now, you said 22 strikeouts. Is that right?
In 11 2/3.
In 11 2/3. Does that count the one that he just mentioned
so
right now?
that's 23 now, and now 12 even innings. The 1-1, ground ball, foul, 1-2 the count.
Those aren't bad numbers at all. Almost two strikeouts an
Terrific.
inning.
His
Yeah,
Ks
it's
per
very
nine
nice.
up near about just over 18. One to the count as McKeon looks to retire Brannigan, the pinch hitter. As mentioned, Mason Greer now at first. That one is chopped foul. It hits Brannigan. Romano still at second. He's had a busy night. Kyle Ball at short. Luke Mann at third. The outfield remains the same. Hardigan, Elliott, Johnson.
Brannigan coming into this game with a .255 average. After last night's game, he went 1 for 3, reached base twice, once on a hit by pitch, once in a walk, and then also that single. Other than that, had a ground out and had 2 flyouts to right field and first base.
The 1-2 swung on and missed. Pendleton throws it to first to clean up the drop third strike, and Mason Greer does a little shuffle to stay on the bag, and there's 2 away. Pair of punch-outs from McKeon, and his curveball is working tonight.
Back-to-back strikeouts, 2 outs. Strikeout count up to 24 on the season. And Cade Kern here. Harbor Hawks looking for that 3rd out and final out here in the game.
McKeon looking to finish off the Gateman, but Cade Kern stands in his way. The count 1-0, as there is action in the Wareham bullpen, it seems.
Just in case.
In case they get to the bottom of the 9th. The Gatemen, a very resilient ball club. They are 9-12-4 on the year. They've been pretty successful in the race in the Western Division for that 2nd playoff spot, as the Bourne Braves have a pretty firm lead on the number 1 spot, as they've had a successful season, to say the least.
Very successful. Started out with one of the best starts to this season in Cape history, and they've been pretty tough to beat. A very solid team. One of their players, actually Dalton Rushing, just named the Cape League Player of the Week.
They had 9 All-Stars, I believe it was.
9 All-Stars. Could have been the entire starting lineup if we would have had a All-Star game.
No, they had a few hitters. Eric Adler, their closer, made the All-Star team as well. He's been filthy. We've seen him a few times close out a few of the wins, and I just remember his stuff is just incredible, Adler.
It is.
The 2-0 is a high fastball, and Kern can't catch up to it. 2-1. Hyannis looking to come back and win this ball game, as they were down 2-0 after 6, but scored 1 in the bottom of the 7th, 3 in the bottom of the 8th to make it 4-2. A terrific come-from-behind victory. McKeon steps off, him and Pendleton looking to get on the same page here.
Kern 0 for 2 on the night. Reached on a walk, has a strikeout. His average is at 192 coming into this at-bat.
The 2-1, cut on and miss. And Cooper McKeon looking to lock it down here in the 9th. Looking to strike out the side in order and pick up the save, and most importantly, secure the Harbor Hawks victory. McKeon leans in and gets the signs from Pendleton. Kern is ready at the plate. The 2-2 just misses, and the count moves to full at 3-2.
Oh, a beautiful breaking ball. Would have been a perfect pitch for that strike 3 call. Just missing a tad low.
McKeon once again leans in and gets the signs from Pendleton. He asks him to run through it one more time. Time is called. Having a little bit of trouble getting on the same page in terms of the signs, it seems.
Yeah, it's happened a couple of times, and it's no big deal. Just wanting to make sure that both pitcher and catcher are on the same page.
3-2 is fouled off. Cade Kern not going down easily. Full count, 2 away. McKeon has struck out the first 2 batters here in the top of the 9th. The full count pitch.
Oh!
Just missed, and it's ball 4. A very tough pitch to take there.
That was a beautiful, beautiful pitch. I'm not sure where that missed. I guess it was a little bit low. A great frame job there from Pendleton if it was low, because it looked well in the zone.
McKeon allows a walk, but now we'll try to retire Jim Jarvis, as the tying run is at the plate now for Wareham. Jarvis on the season. Does not have a home run, but he does have 11 RBI. On the night, Jarvis is 0 for 3. Pitch from McKeon, breaking ball. That one misses somehow.
Another beautiful, beautiful pitch. All of a sudden, the inside corner seems to be non-existent.
Tough pitch there. McKeon located that pitch relatively well. The 1-0, that ball is skied to deep center field. Clark Elliott's on his horse, ranging back. It's going to get down. Off the base of the wall, they're going to wave home Kern. The throw is cut off by Romano at second. It's an RBI double from Jim Jarvis, which pulls Wareham within a run.
Great piece of hitting from Jarvis, able to hit that opposite field too far from Elliott to let him make that third out. And now the Gateman with a chance to tie the game here with a runner in scoring position, and Tres Gonzalez at the plate, who has a single on his line tonight.
Gonzalez with that single, a part of a 1 for 4 effort for the center fielder. McKeon had struck out the first 2 batters relatively easily in Morales and Brannigan to start the inning. The full count pitch to Kern missed for a ball, which allowed the walk, followed up by the RBI double from Jim Jarvis. Gonzalez digs in with the tying run at second base for Wareham. 2 away here in the 9th. First pitch from McKeon is in the dirt and blocked by Pendleton. The runner's going to try to advance, and he will do so successfully. Tying run 90 feet away. Gonzalez at the plate, ahead in the count 1-0 to the lefty from BYU, Cooper McKeon. He's been throwing strikes. Unfortunately, the Gateman put together a little 2-out rally. The 1-0. Ground ball in between first and second. The game is tied. An RBI single from Tres Gonzalez has tied us at 4 here in the 9th. A 2-out rally from Wareham.
An unfortunate position for that ball to be in. Greer started to head over towards it, but he decided to stop as he saw Ryan Romano start heading over towards it out of the corner of his eye, so he decided to retreat over to first to get the grab, but the ball was just too far from Romano to make the grab, so he is now on base, and this game is tied. We're going to have a bottom of the 9th.
Gonzalez put that ball in the perfect place where Greer and Romano couldn't get to it. 2 away brings up McLean. That one misses, and it's 1-0 the count now to Sean McLean. McLean on the night is 0 for 3 with a walk, a stolen base, and a run scored as he reached in the first. Scored that run to start the ball game for Wareham. They've struck for 2 here in the top of the 9th to knot us up at 4 apiece. A great ball game here tonight at McKeon Park. Austin DeCouta, Lincoln Revill here with you in the booth to take you through the conclusion of tonight's action. Sean McLean at DH tonight with a big spot here with the go-ahead run at first base. The 1-0. Misses for ball 2, 2-0. And this all, Lincoln, with 2 outs in the inning after a pair of punch-outs. McKeon had them down to their final strike, and it was called ball 4, which allowed Kern to walk. Jarvis doubled Kern in, and Gonzalez singled home Jarvis to tie us at 4.
Yeah, it was a good 2 strikeouts there from McKeon. Started this inning off with a bang.
The 2-0 is cut on the throw back to first. They back pick Gonzalez, and he dives back safely. Good effort from Pendleton to Greer with the back pick, but he dives back safely. They do get a strike on McLean.
Very good attempt there from Pendleton and Greer. Unfortunately, Gonzalez was just able to reach in there and get in safely.
Time is called again. Pendleton and McKeon looking to get on the same page. No action in the Harbor Hawk bullpen. It's McKeon's inning to finish. The 2-1 to McLean. Cut on and miss. It's 2-2.
And this inning makes that ball 4 to Kern all the much more important. As we remember, on full count, That ball barely missing a beautiful pitch there for McKeon.
Just a reminder, there are no extra innings this year in the Cape Cod Baseball League. So if the Harbor Hawks, we'll see what Wareham can do here in the remainder of the top of the ninth, but we can guarantee you there will be no ball game past the bottom of the ninth.
Wareham's been able to get 4 ties on the season. Hyannis, one of the 2 teams left in the league that has not recorded a tie as of yet, along with the Cotuit Kettleers.
The Harbor Hawks looking to get out of danger here in the top of the ninth. Go ahead, run it first. The count 2-2 with 2 away. Sean McLean going to come through here for the Gateman. Another pickoff move as they don't want Gonzalez going anywhere at first. McKeon, the lefty, came into the ball game here for the ninth and got 2 strikeouts. Looking to make it 3 and give his team a chance to win the ball game in the bottom half of the inning. He comes set. The 2-2 to McLean. In the dirt, 3-2.
Don't want to lose him here. McLean's gone down with 2 strikeouts in his last 2 appearances. Got to attack the zone here. Now, the one thing you don't want to do is give it to him on the inside belt high, as we've seen what can happen whenever it's at that point in the zone. But
McKeon comes set. The 3-2. Called strike 3. The outside corner is a strike this time to end the ninth. The Harbor Hawks will come up to bat in the bottom of the ninth, looking to walk it off here at McKeon Park. Back here for the bottom of the ninth inning, Hyannis looking to walk it off winners as they are tied with Wareham at 4 apiece. No extra innings this year in the Cape League. The conclusion of tonight's ball game will come here. Whether it's a tie, whether it's a win for Hyannis. They will get a point, though, either way. Ryan Romano set to lead us off. It's 9-1-2 as Kevin Acey is back on the hill for Wareham. Jack Brannigan is at third base as Brannigan came in for James, who started the game at third. So Brannigan, the third baseman for this inning. The first pitch to Romano. Outside, ball 1. Romano, Elliott ball as mentioned, 9-1-2 for the Harbor Hawks. Austin DeCouta, Lincoln Revill in the booth to take you through an exciting conclusion to tonight's ball game. The 1-0. Ripped down the line, it's a fair ball. Ryan Romano going to start off the bottom of the ninth with extra bases. He's on his way to second. Ryan Romano has a stand-up double as the Harbor Hawks have the winning run on second with nobody out.
Fantastic placement from Romano to start the inning off, and now Harbor Hawks dugout is pumped. Everybody's in. The bullpen came in too.
Just Coach Johnson left alone in the bullpen.
Yeah. Lots of noise coming from the dugout now as Clark Elliott comes up with a big chance here.
Elliott with the winning run on second base. Elliott on the night is 0 for 3 with a walk. The pitch from AC. Outside, ball 1. (1-0). The count to Elliott. AC comes home. That's inside, ball 2. The winning run at second for Hyannis. The Harbor Hawks were down 2-0 after 6. They got 1 in the bottom of the 7th, 3 in the bottom of the 8th, so they were up 4-2 heading into the 9th, but a 2-out rally for Wareham added 2 to make it 4-4 and tie us up as we head now where we're at in the bottom of the 9th. A leadoff double for Romano puts him on second. Clark Elliott now ahead 3-0. Tough spot here for AC.
Like I was saying just before Romano had his double, I like the spot that we're in the lineup with the Romano, Elliott, and Ball to do up people at the start.
Ball 4. Clark Elliott draws a walk, which I think for Wareham that at least gives you the force at really any base besides home and puts a double play in order.
Yeah,
if you're the Gateman, you're not too upset with that walk.
Definitely not. All bases are hot. Like you said, double play is in order. And also the infield fly rule comes into effect, so lots of different ways you could get that first out here.
Obviously, you'd like to have one less runner on base, but the runner who matters is Romano at second. If Elliott comes home, it would be on a home run. The only way he would come home and have that run count, really.
Yeah. Which, hey, who's saying it couldn't happen?
It
You know,
could.
Kyle Ball at the plate.
Kyle Ball looking to walk it off for Hyannis. Romano at second after the conclusion of this mound visit as Wareham comes up with a plan. Kyle Ball getting ready to step in here for the Harbor Hawks. Luke Mann is on deck if we get there.
Now, the good part about this is that we get a point out of this either way. Of course, we would all love a win, but the good thing is the worst that we can do is tie.
AC steps off. The Harbor Hawks have already won 2 games this week. They did suffer a loss last night to Wareham. Playing great baseball as of late. First pitch to Ball. Misses 1-0. It was a win Sunday at Falmouth by way of a 5-1 victory. They came home and beat Orleans Monday 13-1 and suffered a 12-1 loss against Wareham last night. Harbor Hawks looking to get revenge here. The 1-0 misses 2-0.
6 straight balls thrown now from AC. After giving up that double, he has yet to find the zone after Elliott went up with a 4-pitch walk and now a 2-0 count to Ball.
Kyle Ball ahead in the count, looking to do some damage. The 2-0. In the dirt, 3-0 Lincoln. This might be the reddest of red lights.
Oh yeah, a dark red, almost that
maroon.
Gateman red. Yeah, the Gateman maroon red.
3-0 the count to Kyle Ball with Romano on second, Clark Elliott on first. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 9th. The Stetson shortstop stands in and takes ball 4. That loads the bases with nobody out and brings up who but Luke Mann.
Some cheers coming up as I'd say the man of the hour comes up. In this situation, Mann is the exact person that you want at the plate.
He is 0 for 4 tonight, but Lincoln, he's flied the ball out to the deep part of the outfield in 3 of those at-bats. So a sac fly with Ryan Romano's speed is definitely in play as the outfield comes in a good amount.
Interesting.
Well, you have to try to make a throw on a sac fly.
Well, yeah.
You don't want anything to drop.
With how deep he's been able to find, with how deep into the outfield he's been able to send the ball tonight, I'm kind of surprised that they're in so deep.
I think the biggest thing is you make the catch back where he hit it earlier, you're not going to be able to get the runner.
That is true. That is very true.
AC on the mound looking to work out of danger. The first pitch to Mann Misses for a ball, 1-0.
Yeah, and quite honestly, even where they are right now, with Romano standing at third, you still may not be able to get him. Romano has quite a bit of speed over there at third.
Speed he has.
No.
Romano on third. He'd be the winning run, 4-4 the score. Here in the bottom of the ninth, Luke Mann at the plate, looking to come through for Hyannis, the 1-0. Popped out of play, 1-1 the count evens up. AC fires a strike after walking Elliott and Ball, each on 4 pitches. A game that started as a pitcher's duel with just 1 run between the two teams through 5 complete innings is now tied at 4 apiece in the bottom of the ninth. The 1-1 to Luke Mann. Finds the outside part of the zone. 1-2, a fastball on the outside corner.
Saw a pitch very similar to that one that was called a ball a couple moments ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, with bases loaded right now, and there's no reason for something.
Strike zone has widened out a bit heading into this half inning.
1-2 the count to Luke Mann. Bases loaded. Tie game. The pitch, ground ball to third. Brannigan has it, eat him up. Romano's going to score. The Harbor Hawks are going to win it. Luke Mann puts the ball in play. And it might be ruled an infield hit, but either way, Hyannis walks it off against the Gateman 5-4.
They're counting it as a hit. Beautiful, beautiful play from Luke Mann, doing his job exactly in the dog pile out in right field. Just a fantastic win. Come from behind at that.
The Harbor Hawks celebrate in right field as they pick up their 3rd win in the last 4 games. As the bats have come alive, the pitching has been solid. A good start tonight from Hunter Furtado. He gave way to Evan Webster, who was solid, and Cooper McKeon capped it off. The Gateman did get too late, but Hyannis' bats were resilient and battled back to win it 5-4. A big win for the Harbor Hawks. And that will wrap things up here from McKeon Park. For our Director of Broadcasting, Harrison Meyers, our producer, Matt Noah, our sideline reporter, Taylor Farmer, and my broadcast partner, Lincoln Revill, this is Austin DeCouta saying good night, thank you for watching, and the Hawks win. The Hawks are once again hot.